Roles of a denizen. A content creator is a user that creates posts and is rewarded based on the quality of their content. A content evaluator is a user that helps assess the quality of content and enforces community standards. The evaluator is effectively taking part in a marketplace to curate content and is rewarded for early evaluation. A content consumer is a user that wishes to find and consume the most valuable content in a given subject area or within a community. A lair owner is a person holding tokenized ownership of all or part of a community lair. Owners are rewarded with a portion of all mining activity happening within their lair. Owners are incentivized to build the best community of content creators and evaluators.
Hello and welcome to episode 23 of Coffee with Den. It is another Wednesday and the three of us are back with you. I am Dave, or Distant, as you might know me on Den.social. And your other hosts are Gravity Crab. How you doing, David?
Good morning, everybody.
And T-Swift or Die. What's up, John?
That's me. You might see me on Den as T-Swift or Die, or give me all the change in your pocket, or Mr. Who's this fucking weird guy?
Wait, hold on. Give me all the change. Are you robbing me?
If people will comply, I mean, all you got to say is give me your money, and if they do, you win. You know, like it's a numbers game.
That's not the way you should respond to a theft question. If people will comply. Like, no, no.
I just work for Coinstar. What are you talking about?
So yeah, we're live again, talking about robbing your local Coinstar machine. And later on in the show, we'll get into details about how technically to pull that off. No, I'm kidding. Do not break the law. This is a family-friendly show.
If you stay tuned in, you'll know what segment I do when Dave leaves.
Yeah, that's true. And I don't go back to check, and that's also true. So it could be anything at this point. It's like
really.
No, I don't go back and check. It's like Schrodinger's commentary, kind of thing.
Is it real? Is it not real?
Yes, right.
That's not how the internet works.
It's how my mind works, and if you think about it, everything that happens is going on in my head, so it's all me. All right.
Oh, that's a concept.
That's
real quick. Before we proceed, if either of you during this episode of Coffee happen to hear a dog howl that I don't seem to notice, please tell me, because this is the episode of Coffee that's going to feature me slamming a broom on my ceiling because my neighbor got she got a dog and she's just inconsiderate. The dog's probably not very inconsiderate.
Well, somebody has to train it, and if she's not going to do it, then that broom handle is going to be the one.
Like, I don't think she's been.
That sounded bad. I'm sorry. I'm not knocking on the ceiling.
Somebody's going to take a sound clip of that.
Yeah. No, that's going to be terrible whenever somebody cuts it out and uses it against me.
But you use the broom handle.
What have we got today? We have topics that are written on the screen in front of me. And if anybody wants to hop on and chat with us, we're going to have a spot to do that after we get through talking about chat rooms for a minute. And the links are at the very top of this post. This is in the Den layer. If you go to Den.social and you go to Den, the layer Den itself, you'll find this Coffee with Den, episode 23. And you can pop in. If you were looking at this yesterday, you could pop in to find in your local time and join the call live as well. I update these every week, so they should be accurate. And there's your link. Just wanted to highlight it. Let me just highlight it like this. There we go. There's the link.
They should be accurate. That's the
should be thing. I go out of my way to make sure that it is, so I think so. So this week, we got chat rooms, which is a new thing, so we can talk about that. The official, I don't know if you two even knew, but there were chat rooms over in Telegram that were kind of like, we don't have anything better at the moment, so we'll use a third-party chat room. So that's officially the official ones are migrating over. So there's still community chat rooms over in Telegram that obviously anybody's welcome to do. But the official ones are getting turned into announcement only, so you can't chat in there anymore. But you should still see like updates from the from Den.social and things like that.
I knew we had a bunch of chat rooms over on Telegram. I haven't spent much time over there.
Well, they're coming over here now, so you could probably just avoid that whole thing.
Here.
Yeah.
One less thing to load.
Yeah, for sure. And then I have, what is this? Just in time for Sticky DAO. We'll talk about that a little bit. We mentioned them already, but it's one of the 2 to 4 different communities that are either currently onboarding or making preparations to migrate into Den for their community governance, or are just now like officially getting themselves branded and named and a legal entity and all that, to where they can really use the DAO governance tools in Den. So chat rooms are really just in time for that, because all those people are going to want to talk to their communities. And each layer, as a reminder, is its own chat. We'll go look at it in a minute. I'm going to keep taking a break to drink this coffee because my throat's a little scratchy, I guess. And I don't know if coffee helps, but that's what I'm doing.
It's okay. I can take over. I can take over for you if you want. It's all right.
You got something you want to pitch in on there about chats and sticky DAOs at the moment?
Oh, I was just gonna keep reading stuff, man. I was gonna help you out.
Go for it. Read it up.
You always gotta do all the heavy lifting of the show.
You're right. You're right.
While he's drinking the coffee, though.
Yeah.
Just
so
pick up at the end of his sentence when he takes a sip.
I can do that.
Hey, John. You want to just fix this in post and just go back and read it from chat rooms are live, and then I'll come in just a moment.
No, I don't want to do anything in post. That sounds like a lot of work.
It was a joke. We're live. There's no post.
I think there could be post.
I see what you did there. I ruined it. Yeah, chat rooms are live, so you can go chat in a room with all your friends, or people that aren't your friends. It'll be great. It's like back to the old AOL days where everybody was anonymous, and it was fun, and nothing bad ever happened. Official.
Not to me, anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
I had no problems with that.
Official TG. I never did it, so I don't know. Official TG chats migrated to Den. That's
the Telegram stuff.
Yeah, that's key. If you don't know about that, you should get about that. It's a key thing. It's a very important key thing.
If you don't know about that, you should literally watch the Thursday afternoon Den.social governance call, which isn't really a show. It's a governance call. It's a meeting, more kind of thing, where we talk about all that.
Just in time for Sticky DAO. Thank God. I was worried. I was worried about the two not being in time.
Yeah, you can't have a bunch of people coming in with no chat room.
You can't do that. Sticky DAO. That's a group, solid group. They're organized. They're together. They stick it. They stick it.
Yeah, they got a pretty large Discord server, and they're going to be running it in parallel with their Den layer. So they're still using Discord, but they're using all the tools on Den for the official voting and stuff for decision making in their DAO. So that'll be great.
Yeah. It's just real important stuff.
You should read these all the time, John. You're a pro.
I'm more features / awesomeification coming.
Awesomeification. That's when you take something and you make it more awesomer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a verb.
If you don't know about that word, I would look it up. It's a real awesome word. It's a great word. I use it all the time.
Yeah, so chats, you can cut there. Cool. Good job, John. Thank you.
Okay, you can stop now.
Yeah.
Dave's just like, I'm over it.
Yeah, this bit's done.
That's it. That's the chat stuff. The awesomeification part is that, let's jump into chat real quick and I'll show you. We have a button over here on the right that didn't used to be here.
Interactive.
And if you notice, as we were talking about before, it's only a button now. There are no words. It's just an icon.
Did somebody else mention the lack of words?
No. Well, John did this morning. Yeah.
I miss the words. I just want to point that out.
I like it.
That's just my personal opinion. I'm sure I'll get used to it. I'm already mostly used to it. I just kind of liked it.
I think it's an upgrade. Well, we don't have language support, so that makes it multilingual, right?
Now that's cool. That's a good concept. I mean, that makes total sense.
So this is a chat room for the Gainesville layer. This is the new chat room stuff, right? So you're going to see, if you go to chats, you should see a list of chats that you're active in. They kind of pop in and out as there's activity. I'm almost always in the Gainesville chat, and this account specifically is not subscribed to a whole bunch of layers, which I guess if I'm going to use it for this show, I should do that more. But if you pop into Den, there's a chat button right at the top now at the layer, and each chat room is specific to that layer. So you can go into Den layer chat, and it's only the Den layer. And then if you go, hey, there you go, boom. Excuse me. No, that's what we were talking about. So that's it. Yeah. So there you go. An example of real-time information and commentary, where you can check out what's going on.
Holy crap!
Now, if I go back over here, I wonder if it'll pop in. Yeah. See how it says Den now? Since I just went and popped into the Den chat, it shows up here. So if I go again, let's pick a different one. Let's pick like, I don't know, let's see what the food layer is up to, right? Creature Comforts,
I haven't
is that
really
in here?
explored much of this yet.
So Creature Comforts is here like always. That's your food layer. You can come in here and you can vote on people's recipes, like pumpkin pie, right?
That?
Oh, that's not a recipe. I want to go find a recipe. Hold on. There's
I want to
artichoke.
know how to make this.
Oh, this is going away, by the way. See this wall?
Oh, thank God. Is there a limitation being put in?
Yeah,
at some
3.
point for like
3.
Okay, good.
You can put 3 freaking tags.
That needed to
Just
be
3. And that's still per person. So if somebody else comes along and sees that there's something missing, that person can add up to 3.
Okay.
But we're nuking the ability to nuke the post by
Just
carpet bombing it
tag.
with, maybe carpet bombing is a better military phrase for what this is. Carpet bombing with tags. Right? So let's see. Boom. Cool. So food layer has a bunch of these, and I keep telling myself and my wife that I was going to start using some of these layers to learn how to cook again, and haven't done it. But that should be like, I feel like my attempt to recreate some of these delicious looking things would be a good comedy show. I don't know.
Oh, can we play?
So at the very top here, you see how I went into a post and it was still up there? At the very top, you've got chat here, but on you got your chat groups at the top too, so you can find chat anywhere you are. So I'll go into here. Right now, you'll see like check for newer. That'll go away. That's just if the server doesn't really know if it lost its spot with you, it might say that. You click on it, and it checked, and there isn't none, so you're good. And one cool thing, this isn't a good example because it's only a few messages, but if I go back to Den, right? It says I have a new message at the bottom, and there it was. See how I picked up where I left off? It knew I was up here somewhere. I'll do a different one. If I go to Gainesville, it should pick up. Yeah. See how it says new at the bottom? And I got a little notification on the right. That'll pop up so you can go back and know where you left off, and you can just hit new to go down.
Okay.
And once it knows you're at the bottom, it should just autofill messages from the bottom. There's a few clunky things about it, like that are getting fixed. This is the awesomeification part. So some of the things we still need to ossify. Let's see here. Give me all the change in your pockets. That's what they call it. That's why they call me Mr. Give me all your change in your pockets.
Mr. Balloon
Chat rooms, no, the chats are going to be great for stupid stuff like this that you don't want to turn into a post. A lot of the banter, and then, perfect example of something that would be great in chat, but probably not a post. Good demo.
Good semo.
So, boom, I can chat back to you. Hey, and there we go. It's a chat room, right?
This is probably a bad idea, but now I'm going to make a whole post about how to rob a coin star.
I mean, if you wanted to, freedom of speech, you're not just, I would put a disclaimer and say, like, not serious for educational purposes only.
Do not use this to rob a coin star or imply that I told you how to in court later.
Yeah. So there's shit you can't do still, right? I can't for example, T-Swift or die, right? I can't do that to send you a notification. That'll come one day. We also are going to get, like, if you're in chat, let's say I'm in the den layer here, right? And then back in the den layer, if I can find it, hold on. Let's say somebody else comes in the den layer and I'm in chat and they come in here and like, I'm going to post about something about den, you post something. When that goes in, let's say it's this post about Den boss, which, by the way, is another person who was asking for some demo videos and stuff like that, which we'll have to get hot on. If I was in chat, if I go back to chat over here, that post should come in line in the chat room, just like it was a chat message. So you should see basically like, the idea is if you're in here monitoring chat, maybe you're the owner or an admin, or not admin, but what do you call it? Yeah, just a lot holder who's monitoring the chat. You can see posts come in, so you don't have to go check the layer. You can just see them in line.
Oh, that's neat.
You know what I mean? So, and then maybe it's not the whole thing. It's just like, click to read more. Maybe it's just the title. But if there is enough for you to respond to immediately, maybe you can then reply directly from chat into the main post.
Into the main post.
Yeah. So you can actually use the chat room to monitor the whole layer without having to toggle back and forth between chat layer, that kind of thing. And so what I do is I'll throw this up. For my purposes, I use the Gainesville layer as like a help desk for Gainesville stuff. In fact, even if you're not in Gainesville, if you wanted to like swing by and ping me about something in the Gainesville layer, I'm probably monitoring it. If it's Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Florida man time, I'll probably be over there somewhere. So feel free to ping me with questions if you want to help me out over there, or if you want me to help you out there. But also, I'll monitor Den support as well. I think that's probably one of the most important chats is Den support, because that gives you a log of conversation. Boom, check for newer. Here we are. So it looks like some people have been testing it out, yada, yada, yada. Perfect. So this is all brand new, right? This is all brand new stuff. And everyone who is participating on Den, who has an account, who's trying to figure out how to use it, as we try to figure out how to design it so that you can tell us what's not working, what is working, and direct that development, can direct development. Everybody has a vote. Just to remind you, this governance section over here, if you click on the hammer, and this is the last thing I'll rant about before we go off and look at some cool stuff on layers.
On the hammer.
Yeah, you click on the hammer, the gavel. I want to show just at the top real quick. This is what I mean by everybody gets to vote on stuff. There's two different types of governance. There's one for each individual layer, which if you click on that flag, it'll show you any governance issues that are in the layers that you own, will show up in here. But every single user, even if you don't own any layers, every single user has a site-wide vote for the Den.social, right? And this takes your actual behavior as recorded on the blockchain, and it gives you a weighted governance vote based on your record and your history and all of the data, behavioral data that is recorded on chain as you use the site. Everyone has a pseudonym, right? We don't take personal information or sell any information or any of that, but every vote and comment and every reply, every picture you put up, every vote like this is all on chain. So you can't analyze that data just to give objective, like, oh, these people are more involved and have a good reputation, so they should have probably a little bit more voting weight than the people who have maybe low reputation or who aren't as involved and that kind of thing. So because of that, every single user, every single denizen has some sort of vote. And you can scroll through here and you can see like what the devs are doing, what's being built next, right? For example, we just voted for a feature that isn't in yet, but it's pretty cool. We had a bunch of leftover lore for the first half of last year. that didn't go out to rewards, because we do have a behavior rewards system too, which pays you out lore for just participating. And so what we did was we put up a vote like, hey, what do we do with it, or a discussion. And that discussion came up with a bunch of options like, okay, let's make a contest to where whoever has the most matter rewards on that day gets like a bonus or a little, reward. And the same thing for weekly and monthly. And then another idea was a lottery, right? What if it's a lottery where every interaction you do on this that I just talked about, like the votes and the posts and all that, gives you basically a lottery ticket. So you can win a lottery, every day. There's a lotto winner just randomly selected. And I think, what did we vote on? A combination of both? Yes. So we voted. These are all the options, to do one or the other or a combination of both, or not do any of it at all. And you can actually see the lottery looks like it was a little bit more popular than the creator contest. You can see the votes. And then you can see that there was actually a portion that did not want any of this to happen at all. But the majority overwhelmingly voted for having both of them. So you can dig in and you can see kind of what's coming, kind of take note of what features have been agreed to. And then this feature will end up in the next priorities vote, which looks like this. And the priorities vote takes features like that I just showed you that is already voted on, saying, yes, we should do that. And it says, okay, we only have so much bandwidth. We can build one thing at a time right now. And what should be the next thing we work on? And so that's where you can go through and you can see, all right, it looks like, and again, you can see what I voted for, which was something that did not get chosen, which is fine. So I'm not directing the show. I'm just kind of trying to show everybody how it works right now. We all vote on it. And what won was the layer chat, and that's why it's being built right now. So because of this, which is directed by literally the people using the platform, that's what the devs are working on next. And that could be, features like, it could be UX, could be a whole feature where we just do a big user experience cleanup, things like that. So all of these are approved features. All of these are features that have been decided by the governance votes. Showing dollar metric in the UI. That was the very first one 2 years, 3 years ago, whenever it was. And we still haven't done it. And it's been approved by governance and all that. And all that does is over here, it'll take your 2.2K matter, and you can just click on matter. It'll change it to US dollars to give you an idea of what the conversion is. So all this stuff is coming probably this year, in addition to some other stuff that's not on here, like native video hosting, without having to use YouTube or any of that. A native, decentralized, actual like blockchain native video upload solution. So do dig in to the governance stuff, and especially this one that looks like a little dragon or phoenix icon, the Den logo right here, to see what's going on kind of globally on the platform. So that's what I wanted to rant about and rave about, which is chat and features coming and awesome sauce and things like that. Let me just go back to my main page here. What are y'all's thoughts about everything I just said?
Good rant.
Okay, John, what are your thoughts about everything I said?
I like that we have a chat. I think it's nice that we can go in and people have a place now in Den support. I mean, throw a really quick, basically a question that doesn't need to be a huge thing. Just and somebody that's there that may know what they're talking about can answer it quickly. That's nice. Without needing to jump over into a Telegram chat.
Yeah, especially because one of the things that's important to me anyway is making this not only a tech savvy, not only a crypto savvy community, but average, everyday, normal people who don't care about that stuff. So if you tell someone like, oh yeah, go to the Telegram and find the Den chat room, and then you can ask for help in there. That's like you've lost them at step one.
Go to the IRC chat.
Yeah. Yep.
So having an on-platform place for that is.
I think it's a big move, especially like we talked about we've got DAOs coming on board to use the tools already, and they're going to need ways to communicate. I've got one. I actually just built this last night. Have you looked at this yet? The website?
Yes, I like it. It's orange.
Yeah, so this is the website of a DAO structured company in Gainesville, Florida, that 3 of us locally are owners of. And what we're doing is we're using it as a jumping off point for people that may not understand Den or what we're doing. And this is like a placeholder website at the moment, but it looks fine. It's got, it's going to have some direct links so they don't have to go scroll through the layer to find what we need. If you click on, for example, this is already done and over with, but if you click on it, it'll take you directly to the page with the information on it. You don't have to go to Den and figure anything out. And even if you're logged out, which is important, even if you're logged out, it'll still show it to you. You don't have to have an account. So that's cool. There's a little game down here. But I also put at the top, like this is, Den is a big place. It's a global community. So what I did is I took our slice of what we're locally concerned about, what we're locally using in person, and I just put quick links at the top on the bar, right? So the Gainesville layer, the music layer is affiliated. It's the same owners. We just never fleshed it out as much as we wanted to, so maybe we can start doing that now. Each of these just takes you directly to that layer, right? And then I've got links to, somebody might want to go to, like somebody local who doesn't know about Den might want to go and see what, like you see us doing events every month, and you might want to go to our website and see what's up. And if you are somebody who knows about crypto and how that works, you might see, Uniswap and OpenSea, I know those. And so you click on it and it's like, what's this? You can buy or sell Matter right there. So this makes it easy for people also whenever we tell them like, hey, all the points you earn on Den, you can swap for Ether if you want. Or vice versa. You can swap Ether for Den and stake for Matter and then stake it on Den to earn more lore rewards to become an owner faster. That kind of thing.
I didn't realize you turned it into a little like base camp for everything.
Yeah, make a hub. It's useful to have a hub because we don't have things on. Think about the layer, right? And I'm going on again, I guess, and rambling again. But think about the layer itself. Let's say you have your own layer. You got layer information, which is like the owners and stuff like that. You've got a place for a description, but you don't have a sidebar. You don't have related links. You don't have. There's not a jumping off point. There's not a place to be
there's
like, hey,
really
here's
tying them all together.
Exactly. Like sister layers or something like that, or related layers, that kind of thing. So this can be used as a jumping off point for that. Where the heck where's the marketplace for these ownership NFTs we've been getting? Right here, lot on OpenSea. So you click on that and it loads and doesn't go. Oh, there it is. Okay. So it takes you straight there, right? So that's what I'm doing. And then the Den FAQ is obviously, important. All of this stuff can be found in Den, but our local community just decided it was useful to have something that was concise and all in one spot that they can click on.
See, this would be nice for on a more what we're doing locally topic, honestly. That would be nice for when we're doing events to be able to just very quickly be like, here's the page for the thing you're at, and here's all the places you can go that are relevant to what you're at right now. Yep.
And then if you're a layer owner and you're looking to have a workflow, like some tools to organize what you're creating, your community, your DAO, things like that. What I've found useful, I have a login button here, and I'm already logged in. And it's a fresh server, so I'll just bring it up because there's nothing like secret in here. But this is a secure server that I've got up. And it's an open source tool called Canboard. It's exactly like Jira, except you run it yourself on your own infrastructure, don't have to pay for it and all that. But basically what I've got set up is a project for our company to where like you can have tracking. And this is just me. So right now there's tools that I use, I guess is my point here. There's tools that I use outside of Den to organize Den stuff. So this show we're on right now, Coffee with Den. I had, this was a card that was like backlog. Oh, I got to get around to doing that. So I can go in here and I can, put subtasks and I can put links. Okay, here's the post. Here's the cross-posted Gainesville layer, and I can attach stuff. I would recommend looking, if you are tech savvy and you want to run a company on Den with people that are not tech savvy, this is something you can set up for free that just takes your time and a server that you can use to organize tasks and hand things out. And they could even be things like, I want to eventually start handing out tasks to writers to literally write an article every week for the Gainesville layer, or write an article every week for the music layer, and that kind of thing. And so you can, stuff that is good with consistency, that needs consistency and not fall through the cracks, event planning. We use that extensively for what we're doing. So just wanted to put that out there for anybody who's thinking, how do I use this shit? And the secret is very carefully, and we don't know, we're just using the tools and getting feedback and seeing how they get glued together and iterating from there.
I like the Canboard.
Yeah, it's cool. It's called Canboard, by the way. The software is called Canboard, and you can find it on GitHub.
It's actually a pretty sweet little piece of software.
Yeah,
I use it for pretty much while I'm sitting at work. I organize the things that we're doing in the background for some of the computers that we're building, and it's really nice to have a place to dump all of my information and links that I need real quick.
Yeah,
I can just go back to it at any point. It's pretty sweet.
Yep. So if you go to canboard.org, you can find it there.
And like everything Linux do, we have to build it from source.
Yeah, I mean, I like it that way. It's cleaner that way. You don't get a bunch of, you know what you're getting typically, with open source software. I can close this. So cool. Let me get back to my place. John, how you doing over there? Haven't heard from you in a minute. What are you thinking?
Doing great. I think that's awesome. You got a place to talk to each other and do your thing. I'm excited for Gainesville, and I'm excited for all the fun stuff we're happening. You did a real great job with all the words.
I love you, John.
You did a real great job with all the words.
I wouldn't change a thing. Good job.
Cool. Well, beautification is coming with chat, but it's there now. What do you guys
remind me of AIM so much? I don't know why. I just keep thinking about the AOL Instant Messenger. It keeps popping up every time that I see you open the chat bubble.
Let's take a little coffee break, and then when we come back, I want to look at just what people have been posting on Den, what some of the top posts are from the week, and things like that. And I'm going to run, let's see, I want to find a long one so I can walk around the corner and get some coffee and stuff. So let's have some waiting music instead. We can do that.
I don't think this is the time. I'm going to be honest. I don't think this is the time for that. I think it's a little early. I think you should just go get coffee and then trust that I won't fuck up the show.
Okay, so we're going to have some waiting music, it sounds like. No, okay.
That out. I'm going to get some coffee.
All right, if you wanted to monologue for a minute, if you prefer to do that, that's great. You good, John?
Yeah, I got
it. All right, I'll bring you up a little bit bigger. All right, there you go. All right, John. John's got the show for a minute. He's going to talk to you about themes and stuff.
So I can share my other screen though.
Oh, okay, we'll do that. This does need to be a family-friendly show, though, just as a reminder.
Well, shit. I was just going to take my pants off, but all right.
Who's that?
So this is Mr. Give Me All the Change in Your Pocket.
Oh, this is what you were doing. I love that you made this, like, while... Yeah, exactly. That's you are an improv artist, John.
I know where my strengths are, and it's not what we were just talking about. But I know that I can make something stupid on the internet in 5 seconds.
That's great. Put that in board. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
That'll be great. Well, John's going to talk to you about how to rob Coinstar machines, and I'll be right back.
All right. So, if you want to rob a Coinstar machine, this is what you do. All right, you go, and first of all, the trick is you don't want to actually use real coins. That's where people mess up. You want to use coin-like materials, such as random scraps of things in perfect circles made of metal. And here's the real trick. You go to a coin star that's in like another country, okay? And you take a bunch of quarters, right? You take a bunch of quarters, which are the same size and weight as like a normal dollar euro, right? So you take all your like US quarters and you take them to a machine that exchanges euros, like coin euros, and you put them all in there, and then you wait, and then they give you a bunch of euros. This could also not work, and you could get in a lot of trouble. So this is just an option. I would not say like you have to do this option, but I'm just saying that this is a choice if you wanted a choice on how to do a thing. Also, if you have any recommendations for what should be going on in the background of Mr. Give Me All the Change in Your Pockets, type it in the Den.social chat. I got it pulled up on one of my things. Yeah, I use YouTube Music. What's it about? Yeah, like come in here and like, is this the Den one? No, that's the other one. This is it. Here we go. Perfect examples. Yeah, come in here and talk to me about what should be going on with Mr. Give Me All the Change in Your Pockets.
I can't believe you managed to tie that shit show back into here's the Den chat.
I told you he's pro.
Like I heard all of that. That's not how you can rob a Coinstar machine. That would not work.
Oh, everybody knows that this show is perfect for financial advice and lawyer advice. No. Everybody knows
legal advice,
the purpose of this show.
Just to be clear, not financial advice, not legal advice.
But we're all lawyers.
I'm pretty sure
none of us are lawyers.
That advice, so it's a perfect place for it.
Yeah.
I will be honest.
Dave is like our father, trying to keep us in line.
I'm going to shut that shit down.
I'm going to be honest. It may not be good advice. I would not take any advice we give.
You know what's funny is I have thought about setting up like a Peanuts cartoon kiosk at the Den Experiment shows that we do that just says advice 5 matter or something on it.
Oh God, like because Lucy used to have the little, like what was it? It was advice essentially.
Yeah. I think it was advice, and it was like 5 cents or something.
Psychiatrist or whatever. The doctor is in. Oh God, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing that back.
I'll give you some kind of advice. I won't say it's any good, but I'll tell you something. That's something. John would be awesome at that. Like to give just some kind of answer to any question. That's like that has to be. I don't know, man. People used to make money with like what were the wizard machines? Tell your future.
Like
you go up and you give it money, and it's like here's your future.
All right.
No, in
advice for
in real places.
There's a couple of them in St. Augustine still that still work. The little
right. And people put money in them.
Squeeze their hand, and you put a quarter in, and they squeeze the hand, and they give you a little dumb card. I love it.
And then there's the machines, like the tourist machines are the best because they all do jack shit, but they all take your money, and people do put money in them. Like there's the one where you put a piece of legal tender in it, and then it smashes and destroys it.
Squishes it.
It squishes it into and stamps it with a pretty little image. But
which
only
is not legal.
No, I don't think so. Maybe because it's tourism. I don't know. But then you give it more money to do that, and then you get the thing, and it's like, oh, neat.
It's like, oh, cool. I gave you 50 cents and a penny, and you gave me my penny back, and I can't do anything with it.
I did. I don't have it on me. I thought I had my wallet. I have a bill in my wallet that I got in Germany from one of those machines, and I literally gave it like €2 to get a €0 bill, just as a souvenir. It's like, oh, look at this. It's a bill. It's a euro, but it's not because it says 0. And I had the image of the place we were visiting and stuff like that. And like fake money at the toy store,
Here's something completely.
Kids go look at fake money and they're like, let me give you real money for the fake money.
I, as a kid, bought so much fake money because like I had this idea in my head that I wanted to be super rich. So I was like, if I buy all this fake money, I can pretend I'm super rich.
Yes.
And that was my actual thought.
And now you'll be less rich because of it.
Total quick tangent because I was just looking for one of those smashed pennies.
Oh.
I have like I forgot I had these. Just like some musket balls that may have blown a hole through somebody in the Civil War. I don't remember where I got these.
You could sell that in the history layer.
Oh, I could. Hey, anybody in the history layer want to buy some potentially blowing a hole through somebody musket balls? Oh, I have one of these little. I'm gonna go
get a bunch of ball bearings, scratch them up, and let them rust, and then I'll sell them on the history layer as musket balls.
That's we're not giving good financial advice at all today.
For matter, it's related to Den because I can sell it for matter.
Yeah, I'll sell a musket ball for matter.
Yeah. I gotta be honest.
Has anybody sold anything like? Okay, has anybody like sold anything tangible and sent it through the mail with matter yet?
I don't know. I've done that with other.
Because now I want to sell something to somebody or purchase something from somebody for matter and have them ship it to me or vice versa. That way I can be the first one.
I'm loving the that we have just John building this image in front of us.
Yeah, I don't know why there's a road, but I like it.
Just as an aside, you should mint this once we're done as an NFT and put it up for sale in the NFT layer.
Oh yeah.
All right. Hey, you'll have to show me how to do it because I fucking
sure. And what was I going to say? Oh, to your question, I don't think so. But there is the capability to do that. You know, there's when you send a tip, there's like a little message box that comes up where you can put in a note. And it's not encrypted or anything, but it is only viewable to you and to the other party, right? So the public can see, if you don't, now you can choose anonymous too, but then they don't know, the receiver doesn't know who you are unless you put it in the note. But if you if you tip a post, the public does see like who tipped and how much it was, but they don't see the note at all. And if you go to the user or the denizen profile, there's a tip button there, and that doesn't show up anywhere, like except for the person that you sent it to. So my point is, in that notes section, you could put like a shipping address, for example. Now, there's no escrow and there's no safety on that. I'm not recommending that anybody does that because
not at all.
It's a pseudonymous community, and I'm always wary if there's not like a built-in mechanism for protection, for like that kind of thing.
We're back to the early internet, so like if you're
you don't know what you're dealing with.
If you're super bros with this person, just go for it. I guess. I mean, I'm not saying just go for it, but if you feel comfy, just go for it.
Well, we're all adults here, and we can make decisions for ourselves. But I'm saying that there is the ability to do that if you can find another way to make it. If you're comfortable doing it that way. If the person you're transacting with, for example, my friend that lives in Asheville, who makes stuff. And if I wanted to buy that from her, I already know her in real life. So I could literally just use Den to move that value over and say, hey, here's some matter for your trouble, and here's my mailing address, and send it to me. So that could work. I don't think it's been done. I have done that with other cryptocurrencies before. I bought a suit of armor with Divi.
So, oh God, I forgot about the armor.
I bought some really nice, handmade, tempered, heavy, legitimate.
Oh, it's so heavy, it hurts.
Yeah, not a costume piece. I mean, it is if you like real costumes, but I've bought that on faith, and it showed up in the mail, so that's good.
You bought a suit of armor on faith.
I didn't know the guy. Met him in chat.
God. Speaking of that suit of armor that you have, so that's the second time when I put that one on. I've worn said suit of armor. Okay, disclaimer. But that's the second time somebody's put a chunk of chainmail on me. And the first time it happened, the guy said, hey, I just made this. He's an amateur blacksmith, cool guy. He's the guy that when I used to have little flying squirrels, and I used to get them from him. But he essentially had this suit, and he's like, here, try it on. So I put it on. He's like, I want to test it. And without saying anything else, he goes into a room and comes around the corner and slings me in the freaking chest with an axe. So good news.
What?
Yeah, and I'm not talking like he didn't bring out a little wood chopping axe, which would be equally terrifying.
Was it the broadside at least, or was it the? Okay.
It was, and then I was stabbed with it. Like I got hit with the side, and then he turned it to the pointy part and was like boom, and I was like, oh, that poked me a little, but it didn't cut me.
Just to show
like,
that
good, it works.
That's good that you tested it that way.
He's like, I haven't tried it yet. I'm glad it works, and I hope that was bullshit, but I don't know. This guy was wild.
It's a good line anyway.
It was awesome. It was, I wouldn't recommend it. I woke up the next day and there was a huge bruise right here, but hey, I didn't die to a battle axe that I wouldn't have been in danger of if I hadn't put the chainmail on in the first place. What the hell is happening over here? He's going. I was
actually going to go and see what was on Den, but now I'm looking at this like I don't know. This could be the most interesting thing happening right now.
Yeah, I need to know. Like,
I'm going to let John draw a little bit. John, you keep on keeping on. I'm going to bring you down, and I'm going to pull up the layers list here. Let's see what's trending. Let's pick a layer while John's doing that. Memes.
Yeah, of course. We have to go
memes. All right, so just as a demo, if you sort in the top right, there's a clock and a flame. If you click it, it moves. You're sorting with the clock, it's whatever's the most recent. And with the flame, it's whatever's trending. So people would have already voted on it. So for our purposes, we're just going to go clicking on the flame and seeing what's hot.
I was going to say it's going to be Chris Rock real quick.
Not quite. When you bought Bitcoin at 69K and still hodling.
Like, oh no.
Yeah, you got your gold. You got your thing. God. It's like I got it.
Christ, I hope this goes well.
Yeah. I bought it at 69K. I've also bought it at $300. So I've got a whole range.
I watched that happen in person with a random internet nerd in a coffee shop, and it took like an hour for you to verify that it did anything.
I had to wait on at least 3 confirmations, yeah, and they're 10-minute blocks, and you're not guaranteed, to get in the block, right away. So yeah.
At the time, I think you were trying to explain to me at the time how everything was working and why you needed to look at it that way, and I'm over here just like, yeah, keep it. I'm gonna go have a cup of coffee. I have no clue what you're talking about, but let's do this. Show me you buying internet money in real life.
Yeah, it's a thing. And then I spent it. I didn't save it, of course. I'm going to vote on this while I'm here. So the tags, just as a reminder, and the voting is all consensus-based. This person will get paid more or less rewards depending on how many individual people click this up or down button. The slider is also important, but that's something that you can ignore if you're not sure about it. Just up or down, 1 vote, and then the rest of it's just advanced. I'll call it advanced. But you can basically risk some of your energy. Oh, here's one. It's from somebody who I go out of my way to not be mad at. So I love you. Keep on keeping on, but really talk shit about Dragon Chain a lot and doesn't know what they're talking about, just to be honest. So let's see. Here's the Chris Rock and Will Smith one. Community Telegram groups. Oh, we just talked about this. Node Runners, Dragon. Dragon Chain slapping the community and the groups and the Node Runners and Dragon. And then ICO money. Thanks for all the ETH and Bitcoin. So this is 20... Shit, I don't know. When was the ICO? 17? No. 17, 18? Yeah, it must have been 17, 18. A lot of people don't understand what happened or understand the point of the Dragon token, which is this DRGN thing. And I'm just saying that because, I'm trying to explain this to you as a non-crypto person. So literally that whole thing is about a number on a chart went down. And so people that took it upon themselves to take on risk and speculate on an asset that was always meant as a fee token, not a security. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. But a lot of people got mixed up. And I sort of blame kind of our regulation in the U.S. for making it confusing for people. Because the SEC is always this is and that isn't. And nobody knew what to do. And so a lot of legitimate projects got swept up into this bullshit early on. And Dragon Chain was one of them. So they went through that and they came out still, with the ability to operate and have a business. I don't want to comment too extensively on it, but a lot of people were hurt by what happened, and that sucks. And I came in after all of that. I consider myself lucky to have found the community after the drama went down, but there are still people today who don't understand what happened, and so they make shit like this and they put it on Den, and they make shit like this and they put it on Telegram and stuff like that. So when you see this, just realize that it's somebody who lost some money, who's mad that they lost some money, and it's their own fault, and we're all very sorry and all that stuff. But hey, so there's a meme with a story. What else we got? There's a lot of it. All the best, all of them. Almost every top meme right now.
I told you it's going to be all of this shit. Because that was a wild thing that even happened. But, it was hilarious to watch.
Yeah. This is...
he got the shit slapped out of him.
And the thing is, it's like, I don't know whether to... I mean, it is a meme. How do I vote on this, right? So it is a meme. It is implying something that is incorrect. It's implying that somebody took everybody's money, which is not what happened. But I don't know. I'll vote it once. It is a meme. Stolen just means it's probably not theirs. It's not spam. Let's see. It is USA related, I guess. That wouldn't have happened in a different country, I don't think. And then the rest of these, are not, I don't think, related. So, boop. Now put them down. That's how you vote on. It's just my opinion. All of this is just my opinion. And it's not I don't know. Is it abusive?
I don't think it's abusive at all.
Nah, it's not abusive. Yeah. Just because, and there you go. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean I won't be honest whenever I evaluate it.
Yeah, it's not abusive. I mean, it's a meme put in the memes layer.
Yep. But I'm, at the same time, that's a good point. At the same time, let's say I came into this. This was posted on the 28th. What's today? Today's the 30th. Wow. Okay. Got to go to Miami soon. If I was the first person to vote on this, I would have come in here and I would have upvoted it once, and then that's it. Just to say, yep, that's a meme, I guess. But if it was something that was not like a direct dig at literally the community that's building all of this stuff, I would probably say, you know what? That's a meme, and also it's a good meme, and I'm going to apply more energy to it. Because I know that if I'm the first voter and I use this slider, and what I'm doing is I'm basically betting my energy, which is something you get for free and you can't sell, but it refills every day and you only have so much. So I'm betting my energy that this community, the memes community, not that it's a good or bad meme or whatever, but specifically just the people that are subscribed to the meme layer, I'm betting that they will like it and they will also vote it up. And if I do that and I'm right, then I get rewarded more heavily for my insight. If I do that and I'm wrong, my extra energy, let's say I voted it down, right? Which, by the way, after you vote, you've got an hour to change your mind. But let's say I voted it down and I voted it heavily down, 600 energy down. And I'm like, no, this is going to be terrible. But then the community comes in and they're like, no, actually, we like this. This is fine. And they come in and they upped it even one time, even one upvote, right? We pull this all the way back down. Even they come in and everybody else does this, the one upvote. My negative downvote, since maybe 1 or 2 people would have voted negatively, but let's say 10 or 13 or 20 people voted positively, the consensus is still positive, and all of my negative energy that I added gets stripped of its negative value, and the absolute energy value gets added as a benefit. So we did that because people were like heavily download voting things just to be a dick, just to take away any kind of rewards they would have gotten. So now, if you're a dick like that and you're not honestly evaluating, or you're wrong, then you actually end up not damaging but helping the payout of the person you were trying to like downvote so heavily. So it's all consensus based, which is interesting. And that's, how what I just described here, that's how your reputation gets set, is based on like how people are voting on your posts and replies and things like that. So, all right. So there's a few Chris Rock memes. What do you guys have to show off over there?
Oh, it's just more Chris Rock memes, unfortunately. No,
this one's.
I want to see.
I'm not a biologist. This is fun. I mean, there's a lot of funny stuff here. Like there's a lot to say about it, and there's also not a lot to say about it. You know what I mean?
That's very true. I agree.
How's John's drawing going?
Going pretty good, honestly. Like the cactus looks like it has thorns, spikes. What do you call them? Talons.
It's like a cop. Talons? I don't know if talons is what I'd go with.
Yeah, the rooster cactus has talons.
Why am I getting like New Vegas vibes here? Other than just it's a desert with a cactus in it. This would be a good. We talked about parody accounts on Den. And there is a use for that. And you can even email support and say, hey, I'm going to have a couple of accounts. You're going to see me logging in and, you're going to see the same person logging in and out of several accounts and yada, yada. Here's why. And then it's fine. We'll make sure that there's an exception for you with because we do have abuse systems like detection and stuff like that. But like this could literally, we have a thing called, internally just referred to as personal layers or personal pages or something like that, or personal lot, where this could be a parody account and this could be the banner, is what I'm getting at. This could be the banner at the top of the page. Like when you click on your own like profile.
Yeah.
This could be give me all the change in your pockets.
Change in your pockets. That should be
a banner up there. Like if you take that exact image there and you imagine that it's here instead, where the decent gains is, you know what I mean? Like the face and the stuff is on the left where it says decent gains, and the rest of it is like the the what do you call it? The area.
Background of the
banner.
Banner, that's the word.
This is why it's called the coffee show, is we don't have all of our vocabulary booted up yet.
Yeah, we're not even here fully yet at all.
So that's what John's got
my
going
day
on.
doesn't start until a stranger takes me to work.
Let's do another random. Oh, you're still Ubering in, right?
Oh, of course. Yeah, I have no car. I'm one of those carless humans.
Yeah. We only have one car for the family.
To be honest,
as well.
I kind of like it.
Yeah, I don't mind it at all.
I thought I was going to hate it, but I should really break my bike out and use it more. But some mornings you just don't want to do that.
Here's fitness. We don't go into here much. Health and fitness is pretty well kept up too. So there's a post here that's maybe, I don't know, this is something I need to read because I need to get into all of these things. Save money, increase your life expectancy,
reduce your risk of injury,
improve your quality of life, stay active, improve your health.
I'd like to say this is all medical advice. This is all real medical advice.
We're doctors.
Yeah. This is not medical advice. Nobody here is a doctor. And
it's basically medical advice, and you should all do what we're saying.
John.
What you might not understand is we have a lot of people where English is the second language, John. And I don't want someone to be like, oh, you know what? I didn't understand anything they said except go spend all your money on this,
doctors,
and then take a trip to Russia to get an illegal implant or something. That's not. I just feel like if you're not careful, that's gonna happen.
I mean, maybe.
Oh, we should have a banner. That's what we should do. At the very beginning, we do the intro, and then there's like the fast, like nothing you see on here is medical advice or legal advice anytime. Nobody's a lawyer.
We please do that.
Disclaimer.
Funny as hell.
Right.
Just for anything that John could possibly throw out, like gets to the point where it says like we're not lumberjacks.
Oh, BritFit is back.
Car
cool.
salesman.
That's a long time ago. This is from. Excuse me. No, we're not car salesmen. This is from a long time ago.
That almost was.
I'm noticing. So this is interesting then, because I'm noticing also in the Dragon Chain layer, for example, in the World Blockchain Roundtable, there's a couple of old posts that came up in trending recently, and now I'm seeing this from Britfit, which is an internet personality that got really popular on Twitter, went viral, and she has an account on Den as well, but. It seems like, so this is from, what does it say, 5/24? And it seems like people are digging up old content. So one of the mechanisms that I showed you was like, you can only vote with once and then within the same hour, right? So I could vote on this. It's old, but I can vote on this because I've never voted on it with this account. Right, so I can vote on this, and I think that must be what's going on. Is new users who weren't here before. I've been talking about how we're getting, of course, Sticky DAO, of course, decent gains, and then there's one I can't say yet, and then there's a second one that I can. I want to say, I don't know if that I can say that. So there's two more that are on their way.
We can't.
Yeah, and so what I'm thinking, speculating, is that people are signing up for accounts. And they're digging in, and they're looking to see what's there. They're using maybe the search bar to find things, which will bring up stuff from the past, that kind of stuff. And then once they're voted on, I got to look and see kind of under the hood how it's written and designed. But it seems like old material's being popular again because it's being voted on again with new accounts, which I think is fantastic. I think that's great. If you want,
there's enough people around to go back and dig through stuff, which is
nice. If you want the most recent stuff, you can always just go up and search, change the icon to the clock. If I'll go back and show you that again, the flame to the clock, right? So then you can say, okay, whatever was most recent
squats
is up here. Squats, no matter how much is voted on, right? So
I usually spend most of my time in the clock.
Yeah, me too. But that's cool. Because I want to get the stuff first. Like, it's more profitable, right? To organize by
clock. You can vote up on stuff and actually have a much, much better reward.
Because if they're earlier, extremely especially, if it says 0, if nobody's voted on it yet, But the clock is the clock's where the profit's at, and the flame is where maybe coffee's at, right? So if you're not into going in and evaluating and using your brain yet, you can just see what have people already evaluated that maybe I haven't seen yet. Cool. Let's check in on John. It looks like he has a sunset or a sunrise going on over there.
Oh, I thought you meant he had a son for a moment, like he gave him a child.
I gave birth about 20 minutes ago.
That's probably a sunset. Is that a sunset?
Yeah. Got a nice little sunset going on here.
I love the check-in.
I love trying to guess what color I'm supposed to use. How do I want to do this?
I don't know. You figure that out. And I'll go over to the advice layer. We were talking about giving advice. Let's see what kind of advice people have got.
Oh.
Let's find one I can read for those who are just listening. Because I forget sometimes that we're just a tab or we're up in the background.
Well, that's depressing advice.
Honestly,
no support was all the motivation I needed. That hurts.
Yeah, well, it's all a matter of how you say it. Because I have a similar quote that I found recently that I think is very motivating, which is that the best revenge is massive success, which I think is related to this quote here. If you feel like you've got no support and people have let you down, and you just got to do everything yourself if you want shit done. The best revenge, if you're upset with anybody about that, is massive success. And you'll be like, see?
Just win. Just win.
Yeah, just win.
At the end of it.
Yeah.
Screw everyone else. Just win. All right?
Here's advice. By voting for posts from new and less known denizens, you help decentralize Den.social by creating more influential users. Yeah,
this guy just wrote a loading screen. That is a real-life loading screen.
What is?
They think that that's like a real-life loading screen right there.
A loading
you remember,
screen?
okay, think about it.
Oh, like in Oblivion.
Elder Scrolls games or whatever. Yeah, like you see the little, it's like, sell these at the store for this.
Interesting. I wonder how we could implement that.
I was wondering something about. I was just thinking that, like, how do we scroll? Like, can we have like loading screen?
Yeah, is there any? I don't think there's anything that.
Occasionally.
I don't think there's anything that
loads.
loads.
You can just put it on like the bottom of the screen, like it's a little news ad.
Yeah, or up in this blank area. See all the blank space we have at the top here? What else is up there? Oh yeah, there's some. Oh yeah, there's room up there for the website anyway. I don't know about mobile. Or maybe just one thin line under it, like a ticker. And maybe you can click on it to bring up these like little things that come across. I don't know. That's good. That's good. I like that.
That'd be actually pretty sweet.
Have you seen these?
They worded it.
Best graffiti in the world. I don't know if Zerg has been the one every time, but they've been coming through the art layer.
So where is this at?
On that wall right there.
Well, okay, I'm aware it's on a wall, but that looks like a very old wall in an old town. So
could be an old painting too, for all I know.
Definitely somewhere European. That's not here at all.
What they need is the rest of the sheet across.
Oh yeah, just
and
complete
then
it.
People can drive under it, and then it's a big banner, and you can sell ads for Coca-Cola.
That'd be great. I just make it a billboard. I was thinking, imagine how gross a sheet would get in like a week. Like a big nice cloth.
That's my American opinion on how to make art better. Turn it into like, an advertisement.
How do we sell soda with it? Also, side note, am I the one that was unaware that apparently half of the country and a good portion of the rest of the world refers to all soda, or pop or whatever, as Coke?
Coke, yeah, it's what like I remember going through when I was a kid. I would go through like a fast food joint drive-through, and I would say, like we would say we want a medium, large fry and a medium Coke, and they would say, okay, what kind of Coke you want? Is that going to be Sprite or Coca-Cola or it's a slang for cola or pop or soda, right?
Okay, but you've just said something that you grew up here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I've never had that experience where somebody say, I would like a Coke, and they're just like, what kind of Coke? They assume that I want a Coke. So that's never happened to me a single time. So my friend Kat actually ruined this for me recently. We went to a restaurant, and she asked the waitress, she was like, hey, what kind of Coke do you have? And the waitress listed every soda they had, and it blew me the fuck away.
Did someone understood that question?
Because I was so confident that they weren't going to know at all what she was talking about.
That's like saying, give me a beer list.
It's like, give me the... It's like saying... List. It's like, that should have only products that are Coke.
Yeah, it's like, okay, what are you... what kind of Bud Light do you have?
Bud Light. That's the kind of Bud Light I have. What kind of Coke do you have? Diet or regular? That is your option.
Oh, man.
Holy shit. I'm so glad that... Actually, no, I'm not, because this is once again cemented the fact that I'm the one that's wrong, and I'm okay with that, I guess, but yeah.
Hey, you know how we were talking about NFTs last time?
Yeah. And
there's a project called Grim Syndicate, who Crypto Lothar is a friend of the community, has been here for a long time, and actually helped create some of the early app concepts that were out for beta and things like that. And Grim Syndicate, I think that's who did it anyway. Grim Syndicate is a collection of 10,000 NFTs with utility and like other social aspects. And it's on, this is more for the blockheads out there, but it's on Solana, which OpenSea has never supported, but they are adding. And Grim Syndicate, which is really cool, Grim Syndicate is one of the projects that Solana will be supporting in the first wave of different like NFT projects to support. So that's fantastic. I want to vote on this real quick, and then I want to just bring up their tweet and read it, because I don't think I have yet. Oh, I did already. Let's bring it over here. So we're honored to announce that Grim Syndicate has been chosen to represent Solana NFTs as a launch partner on OpenSea. So If you pay attention to when OpenSea is launching Solana, you'll be able to find them there. The little icon that I have, my avatar here, the little I don't have it right now. It's a different account. Well, if you've seen my normal account, it's the Rhino dude, right? This fella right here.
Oh,
Boom.
the Righteous Rhino.
The Righteous Rhino, yeah. That's on Solana also, so I don't know if that'll end up making it into OpenSea collection or not. But there's some cool rhinos in that collection. And overall, like, there are some interesting projects on Solana because it is fast and cheap. Although it's not as, in my opinion, reliable or final or decentralized. There's a lot of cool stuff over there that community-wise, and this is, if you're into like the NFT scene, you already know that the community around a project is really what makes it. So there's a lot of great communities in Solana, and that'll carry it itself. In addition to all the other things that come along with it, they're using theirs like as community access, and you got to have one to get into the party, that kind of thing. So that's over in the NFT layers. If you wanted to go check that out. I've
never taken a moment to observe your rhino that you've got there.
Oh yeah, it's cool, right?
He's got a pipe and like everything. He's got a little
long
pipe. He's dressed like one of the Beatles from the Sergeant Pepper's album.
Yep.
That sounds cool as shit. I gotta check it out.
I think I bought like 10 of them, and this is the one that I found that was good.
Oh, that's cool.
Because you don't know what you're getting.
I bought like 10 of them, and this is the one I found that was cool.
Yeah, well, there's some more cool ones, and I can just sell those to somebody else that wants to not randomly. So there's different types of people, right? There are people that want to have a cool NFT that is attributed to a certain community, but they don't want to like gamble. They want to make sure they got one they like if they're gonna buy it. But then there's people like me who are like, I don't know what I'm gonna get. That sounds awesome. Give me 10.
That's way more fun. I gotta take a few.
And then maybe I'll sell the ones I don't like to the first type of person that I talked about, who wants to see it first. I'll pick out my favorite one and then sell the rest. Maybe at a markup and make all my money back to where I don't, have to spend anything up front. I don't know.
I want to know.
Yeah, so it's like kind of a rock star vibe. I used to manage a band in Gainesville, and I got really into event planning and stuff like that. So I like the rock star vibe. He's got a pipe, and I smoke a lot of pipe. So I was like, that's me. It's got, if you see hidden behind the mushrooms, there's a flamingo there. As the sitting on his what does he call that? A snout? The forward part of a rhino's face?
I'm gonna go with, I was gonna say the nose, but that's probably wrong as well.
Yeah.
I like snout.
And then his front horn is filled with, looks like manure with mushrooms growing out of it. So that would probably be the good kind of mushroom that I like a lot. So I'm like, all right, that all relates to me. Plus, he's got long hair, which I do, and I don't snowboard, but he's got snowboarder glasses on, and I do like to wear shades.
Would you believe it's actually nose?
Is it nose? Okay.
It really is nose.
Cool. And if you look real close, there's a little bit of zombification happening underneath the goggles there, if you notice. So
has he been? Is it zombification, or has he been around radiation too much?
Yeah, there's a whole backstory. You have to go read it. You got to go read up about the here. RIGTEOUS.
I didn't know there was like a whole backstory for this.
Yeah, there's a whole thing. It's important. Like, you can't just mint an NFT. You got to make it cool and special. You got to have something, So their website has, you can go, of course, mint it here, but there's a story. You can go click on story, and there's a whole thing, right? Where it's like, oh, here's the story of the rhinos, and then they go through a wormhole, and they get all screwed up and mix. Yeah, and this is why they're all crazy, is because of the wormhole thing, and then there's the roadmap, and then there's all the stuff, right?
These guys look like really well-drawn Duke Nukem enemies.
That's funny. This is Charles drew them, I think.
Oh, hey.
You've met him.
I know that guy.
Yeah. Charles Keeter. He's come out to some of the Den experiments, and this is who's putting on the NFT
all of them,
crypto conference in Gainesville, actually, on April 10th.
That's right. That's the thing I thought we were forgetting the other day, by the way.
Got you. Yeah. Nope. That'll be, so that's that. And that's just, if you're not sure what the whole NFT thing's about, it's basically that. People get together, they create their own community backstory, roadmap, maybe make it into a little game, maybe make it into a big game, all kinds of stuff. You could even use your NFTs in the game if you want.
people always give NFTs so much shit. And I mean, they are very memed upon. And
well, it's a new thing. It's a new concept.
But it's like at the end of the day, it's because it's fun. Like it's not.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, there's a fun backstory. You buy your thing, you get your random one. It's like buying Pokemon cards. It's fun.
Why do you buy stamps for a collection?
I was gonna say to mail things.
I don't.
Yeah.
That's my point. I don't do that.
Yeah. So, well, that's a good point. But people do. It's what was I gonna say? It's a better version of freaking like Fortnite, where people spend thousands of dollars on in-game items that they then don't own because they can't take them out of the game and like have them separately from the game. So if Fortnite ever goes down or becomes unpopular, everything you bought in that game is just gone. It's just gone, right? With NFTs, if each of those things that you bought in the game were also a token that you could extract and withdraw from the game and sell to someone else, and then they can take it and put it back in the game, then you have a marketplace, right? You have a marketplace for these items that are not controlled by just the game devs. And sure, it takes some money away from the game devs, but good Lord, how much money do you need for something cosmetic that does nothing, that you don't own, and that you can never take with you? You know what I mean?
See GTA Online.
Yeah. So it's really, I believe firmly that all of the negative attention from the gaming community about NFTs comes from people who understand how disruptive the technology is, and they have a legacy company who relies on feeding upon people's desires to buy things in their game. You know, pay to win, pay to play. Money is an issue. So I think that there's definitely misinformation and there's definitely misunderstanding, especially when it comes to like environmental effects and things like that. People are like, no NFTs because it destroys the world, you know, and believe that. They honestly believe that. And so like, I can't argue with those folks. It's just that when you learn something from that angle, that's what you've learned, you know, figure out, you know, like, I don't know. I go out of my way to subscribe and like follow people that I disagree with just so I don't get a one-sided, you know, picture of what's going on and how things work and stuff like that.
That way you don't get like the very thin, narrow-minded thought process of everything in the world. Also, speaking of terrible companies, just because we're talking about, you know, game stuff with NFTs, have you, just because I want to complain about them, have you seen the Rockstar thing yet with GTA Online?
I've heard about it.
It's already a shit show of a place, all right? Like, we know this, all right? The PC, they're not even going to do this for PC players because...
Yeah, explain this to me, because this is actually, I haven't heard about it, so yeah.
The PC player, like the Rockstar already knows the PC community has hacked in a gajillion dollars into it, and there's not going to make any money off of it. Let's be honest, if you're a PC player for GTA Online and you're not siphoning money in from some kind of a third-party program, you're playing it wrong at this point. For consoles, you can now, for $6 a month, have GTA Online Plus. This is a company that has been selling the same game, just like Bethesda, since 2013. And they want, again, now to take more money from their already $1.5 billion a year mega online shit show. Instead of giving us a new game, they're giving us any fun content for, you know, Red Dead 2, an actual place that could use some content and upgrade. Screw it. Do it like you're doing GTA Online. Just give me something to do.
Mm-hmm.
So for $6 a month now, you can have the barest of bare minimum bullshit that they can give you. $500,000, which is the tiniest amount of money you can buy on a shark card, I think.
I feel like money in a game like GTA is like, really, after a while, you don't have to worry about that.
No. It's the polar opposite. You've got money. The average cost of something fun and new, let's say they release something like, oh, you know, you can go do this new heist or whatever. You got to spend $3.25 million to buy the building. And then you've got to upgrade all the stuff in it. And then you can do the content. You got to spend $4 million. But most people don't have that much money because everything else in the game costs a shitload of money. So then they just go and spend money on the little cards that give you in-game money. So like Rockstar has engineered it to suck money out of people, and now they're trying to do it even worse by giving you the bare minimum. Like they're giving the smallest amount they can give, and essentially a couple of clothing items and a car that came out 4 years ago, and that's what you get for your $7 a month.
It's insane that's like recurring. Now is it 500?
They give you that every month. Oh, 500 grand. That's literally nothing. You can't buy anything.
You get a new car too every month?
Yeah, I don't know if you're going to get a new different car every month, but they
give you a car
that's 3 years old.
Right, but they would have to work and design more cars if you got a new car every month.
Oh yeah, they would have to do that, which they did for a while, but I don't think they're going to keep doing it. They're just going to.
That's interesting. Yeah,
people already own, and also where you got it from. I haven't verified this yet, but I guarantee it. Where you got it from a paid-for thing from Rockstar, I'm guaranteeing that you're not going to be able to like take the car that they give you and drive it to the shop and sell it. Because routinely, if you get given a car, it sells for $0, just so you can't have money come back to you. It's just sneaky, sleazy shit. And yeah, I don't know, NFTs.
Oh,
I'm just going to say the word NFT to tie back my rant about Rockstar.
Yeah, so NFTs can fix shitty gaming companies.
Yeah, it'd be really nice.
That's the whole argument for me. Like, if you are battling with your shoot, I don't know what your legal structure's like as a company, but if you're battling with your investors and the money people and the bigwigs and the governance and from an engineering standpoint, maybe you are those people, but engineering is getting back to you saying like that's unrealistic or we should do this or that. Like you might just have a company that's legacy and needs to evolve with the way that tech is going.
At least just change a bit.
You might want to reinvent. Check this out. Speaking of games, I was like, okay, what's in the gaming layer? Jenga is a game. Would we all agree that Jenga is a game?
Jenga?
Yeah.
Is it Jenga or Jenga?
Yeah, one of those. So somebody got a Jenga and a Jenga, whichever way you say it. Jingle, jingle. And has a story about it. History of Jenga. My friends bought Jenga the other day. And after we played for a while, I looked up some alternative game modes. To my surprise, you can play this seemingly simple game in many different ways, not to mention how many totally different designs you can get. I didn't know there was an alternate way to play Jenga, except if this is a way to spell out words.
Yeah, that's fun. I think.
It says types of Jenga games.
The last time I played Jenga, it was at the medieval fair, and the food tent has a giant Jenga set made out of 2x4s. It was a good time.
Did you know that? Do you know where Jenga came from?
No.
I don't know if that's in this write-up or not.
I can't believe Fortnite showed up after you mentioned it.
I know. I didn't even try to.
I'm so upset.
So speaking of Fortnite,
why is there a spinner?
I don't know. Stack 2 blocks so you can put them back. There's stack no blocks. There's
climbing.
Stack 1 block and then recover play, and then there's stack 1 block. I don't know.
Okay, so Fortnite content aside, it looks like
you climb up the side.
Climbing. Fortnite content aside, that's kind of a really cool version of Jenga.
Yeah, so it's like magnetic. I guess you stick them to the side. Oh no, there's little holes.
You probably can't like knock the block off that somebody's standing on. That's cool.
Okay. Yeah, it's got you shoved in the hole. I see there.
You slam it in the hole. That's cool.
And then Super Mario's got an addition.
Better.
Same kind of thing. Whoop whoop, jumping up there. So Super Mario, it's the same game. It's literally the same game.
Oh, so we can play it without Fortnite and Mario stuff instead?
Yes.
I like this one. Just
Monopoly Jenga. Weird. Oh, tips and tricks. Cool. So to answer where I think I remember Jenga coming from, this is in a memory hole in the back of my mind somewhere. But somebody just started chopping up boards, pieces of wood, and made a game out of like stacking them up 3-way because I think it was like impoverished area. Like there wasn't a bunch of toys and stuff. So they made it. And it was popular, and everybody started playing it, and it got made into a Jenga game. And the important part was that since it was originally made with like lumber with imperfections, the the reason that it works well is, and that you can like wiggle stuff out that's halfway in there, is because they're not all perfectly like rectangle shaped.
Oh.
So the Jenga game itself had to manufacture, had to recreate the imperfection of just random wood laying around.
So it's kind of like different pressure points.
Yeah, so all the blocks, if they don't stack up exactly right, there's a little bit of gaps, a little bit of space, stuff like that. There's imperfections in the way they're shaped. And so it became a big giant thing, Jenga. That's how I understand
awesome.
it. Yeah. Watched it on TV one time, and so I'm, just assuming it was true.
I'm going to go grab something to show off because I have to, since we were talking about board games.
Yeah, for sure. There's some more. The gaming layer has actually woken up quite a bit the last couple of months, so that's good. There's some play-to-earn games being talked about in here, too, which is cool.
Cool. I actually recently taught an improv workshop for people who play Dungeons and Dragons online. They stream it.
Really?
Yeah, they play Pathfinder, so they stream Pathfinder. Like, that's what the guy does. He plays video games online, but he like streams Pathfinder once a week, and it's like a bunch of people playing like the game, like a board game, like on in front of people and everything.
Yeah,
it's pretty fun.
Yeah, I can see how you would need to practice like improvising on what's in front of you in those kinds of things.
Yeah, there's like a few like things about it that like I think people like don't think about. One, like they're playing for like 4 hours, so like you're mentally just getting burnt out. Like there's a difference between like playing with your buddies and you can kind of like relax and it's chill, but like if you want to be entertaining for 4 hours, like that's some mental energy right there. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy. It's a lot. That's a lot of work if you're not used to it. So like building that mental aspect of it is just it's pretty key.
That's why we're horribly boring every morning. Because we just have no way of doing any mental thought.
I think that's why like the show gets better over time, because like we're more used to doing 2 hours at 9 a.m. and just jumping into it, you know?
And we're not terrified of the people on the internet.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's me. So check this out. This is one of my favorite things that I own. So I'm going to butcher the history of this thing. And since we were talking, you were saying people were playing board games like on a stream, we should definitely play this at some point, like when we're together in a room. This is the Royal Game of Ur, okay? And this is a board game that was dug out of the ground. Not this one. This is a nice replica that some very nice guy made. This guy here. So this is a board game from 4,500 years ago. And it essentially was checkers for ancient Mesopotamia and Samaria.
Okay.
So basically, the point of this game is you've got these little spaces here, and you've got people on each side of the race, and you've got 6 pieces, and you roll these little 3-pointed dice. I don't have one with me. I've got to get a better one. But they have little, it's a triangle with little points on it, and you roll it, and depending on how many stick up, between 1 and 4, will help. Depending on how many of them stick up, is how many you move. So you basically start here, and your goal is to get down here, around, and then back out the other end on your own side. Okay.
Oh, you have to go on the little sidewalk areas.
Yeah, like you basically you take your path, you go this way, and then you come out and you're safe on that one. Your goal is to get all your pieces off, right? If you land on these squares here, or these guys here, it's an extra roll, and you can't be attacked on them. But if you're in this middle section here, and like let's say the person on the left lands on one spot here, and the person on the right lands on that as well, the other person gets knocked off, right? So it's a very simple game. And the cool thing about it, that I think is cool, is it took a long time for us to even figure out what we were supposed to do with it. So we found this game in like the mid-30s, and it came with the game box, weirdly enough. It was actually, funnily enough, it was about this thick, the real one, and it had a little tray inside of it where all the pieces lived. So we think of that like a game box with a board, with a box, essentially a board game with a box is a modern thing. Yeah. They were doing it 4,500 years ago, which is awesome.
You got to keep them together somehow.
So they just had a little drawer slid out with all the pieces, which is great because we got to have most of the pieces when they pulled this thing out of the ground. So near it was a clay tablet written in cuneiform, which is one of the earliest forms of writing. It had a bunch of different phases, but it's basically little wedges on a tablet. You've seen them before in pictures in museums. This tablet was a really advanced, added to version of the rules. It was like somebody made up their own version of checkers. So this really cool guy named Irving Finkel at the British Museum had to sit there and read this, translate it, and then pull all the extra added stuff out of it to figure out how to play the game originally. So they had to reverse engineer a board game, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I've never heard that before in my life.
There's
great.
My rant about the Royal Game of Error, which is just it's also funnily enough, it's also a hell of a lot of fun to play, even for being an ancient game. My grandma
I'll have to check it out,
recently. But yeah, there's my rant.
Once we get cross-posting up, that's an example of something where, that would fit both in the history and the gaming layer.
Oh,
so, once that feature's, completed and in production, you could post something and then just click a little box saying also post to gaming or also to history. And it would just go to both places.
So much. That's the feature that, if anybody wants to know full transparency, what the feature I keep voting on at this point is, I want the cross-posting.
It's handy, especially
handy for that stuff.
Think about the local communities, or even the the different, like the DAOs I was talking about that are coming in and they're going to be using a layer. Those people are going to be talking about their own stuff, just like we talk about Gainesville stuff in the Gainesville layer. But it's also going to relate to things like in the music layer, or in the NFTs or art layer, or in the, history layer.
Somehow.
Kind of thing. So with all of these people that have multiple categories of, what they're in, like they're over here by default because this is their community, but they also like the other stuff in the different layers. So I think it'll get used a lot.
That ties back into what we were saying earlier about how a lot of the time you go to a layer and it's its own little self-contained area with no jumping points, no real places to branch off to places that are similar, or places that maybe there could be a way that after a while, if the system can recognize, like, a lot of people cross-post these two layers, like maybe we could have a point where it could
that would be good.
Be like, oh, hey, a lot of people communicate between each other in these layers. Click this one.
Yeah, that would be like a suggested cross post. That would be great.
I feel like that could be done without gathering a ton of data.
No, it's all the data's there already. And with cross posting, it'll be there for that just by nature of the way it's designed. So we should have that. That's a good idea. And we should also probably put, like in the original post, like whichever one's your primary. Maybe not. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe all of them say this was also cross-posted to these layers. So maybe you don't.
It just needs to be real simple. Just a little thing at the bottom that just says, like, hey, also here. Like,
because
maybe even
you might
slightly grayer than the rest.
Yeah, you might not even be aware of that other layer that it exists. So you might be like, oh, what is this layer? And you go check it out.
This is cool. Like somebody who put this here thinks this other place will like it. Maybe I'll like it over there. We
In
sound
fact,
like we're very early internet users. Like, oh, maybe I like this place on the internet.
Yeah, well, that's what we're doing. That's what the governance call is about, too, on Thursdays at 3 p.m. Eastern. But, you could even not point directly to the post in the other layer that was cross-posted, but just the layer itself. Like, you don't necessarily want to lead somebody to the exact same post again, but you might have a link to the layers that it was posted to overall. So it brings you in to look at everything on there.
Or even both. You could say, like, this post was cross-posted here, and then it'll have a link to that layer, and then it'll also be like, a couple of dashes, and then the post ID or whatever, so it can link. So that's a little bit more complicated, but it gives people the option.
Yeah, but bringing it back to what's more simple, you already have the post in front of you. And so, like, just having
But then you end up with the catch-22 of human nature, where somebody's like, oh, I clicked on this, and it took me to, a layer, but they expected it to take them to the post, and then vice versa.
Well, if it always does the same thing,
you iron that out after a while. So.
Yeah. That's the learning curve part of it, and that's important with Den. Like, there's a lot of learning curves. We have to prioritize which curve people should care about in the beginning. I think
which curve is arguably a more important curve.
Yeah, because you might not even, like, you're not going to care about a lot of the stuff like voting in LCPs even, or proposing your own layer in the beginning. Like, that stuff should be...
people aren't right off the bat. I mean, we have
Hey, we're talking about, this is on topic. It's funny, we talked about Fortnite, that came up. We were talking about the rejection of gamers, to NFTs. This came up. So this is in the gaming layer. This is the devs of the next Stalker game. Which the intro, I saw a video, some gameplay. It looks pretty darn good.
Stalker 2. I'm on board.
Yeah, and what Vimalo has posted is interesting. I'm just going to read it. Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl will still not have NFTs as announced 2 days ago. The GSC Game World development team thought of selling various digital things for the game, including the opportunity for someone to pay to have their face scanned and inserted into the game as a face of a supporting character. However, fans of the game reacted violently to the announcement. Quick reminder that words are not violence. Threatening to cancel orders. The developers had tried to justify that they are funding the entire Stalker 2 on their own, which is valid. They don't have a publisher, which is probably good because you don't run into issues like being forced to put it out too soon, like Cyberpunk, because you're, like people that control the coin purses are telling you what to do. I'm sorry, I'm injecting my own thoughts in here. I said I was just reading it. My bad. They need the money to produce the game. However, players saw the introduction of NFTs as an insult because the exclusivity of digital gaming content is sold at auction on the principle of whoever offers more. He has sold exclusively ownership of something in the game. From GSC Game World, they have therefore said they are canceling all plans related to NFTs and that their priority is to make the game as good as possible for fans to enjoy. This is the second significant case where players have opposed plans for NFTs in the game. Ubisoft did not fare any better with theirs plans for Ghost Recon Breakpoint due to 96% of negative reactions on the YouTube video. It had to hide the announcement video, but there are also examples of players who rushed into the idea of playing with NFTs. Yesterday, we found out that several virtual plots worth about $53 million were sold for the legacy game. So here's where we are. You've got, on one end, you've got the game developers and publishers who are technical people, understanding the implications of a new technology, which is firmly in their wheelhouse, and planning to use it to leverage it to their benefit and to the benefit of their customers and their people that are buying the games. And then you have, on the other hand, gamers who are obviously the most important demographic because that's who's buying the game and playing the game, or playing the game anyway. You might not have to buy it. Even if it's an NFT, you don't necessarily have to buy that NFT. But they are listening to a narrative coming from somewhere, right? Wherever it's being directed from, there's one directed narrative that everyone's listening to that says NFTs are bad, it destroys the gaming community, and we should violently oppose it at all costs. I myself have talked to people with this opinion, and I don't know where it comes from. And whenever you start to have logical conversations with those people, they just stop talking because they run out of things to. Run out of points. So I don't know what to do about this except to say that there is evil in the world, and it's trying to keep cryptocurrency away. Think of it this way: with a technology that is designed specifically for self-sovereignty and for the ability for the individual to monetize their own content, to own the products that they buy, instead of leasing the license to them to use them, they own the products they buy, and to create an independent marketplace, a free market outside of the game systems, where the players themselves, let's say you earn something in the game, or it's a special drop in World of Warcraft, and you get the purple sword, whatever it is, right? You already have people going out of their way to figure out how to sell these in the game. Go sell it on eBay, send gold to this mailbox, and then I'll send you the item and all this stuff, right? So these are things that exist already that is a plague to the gaming industry. If you could then make that more fair, if you could then make that more provably fair to everyone by just using a different technology that's easy to implement, if the point of it is to make it more difficult to cheat, more difficult to lie, and more difficult to take advantage of gamers, I guess, then who is it that's opposing it? That's the question, right? It's kind of the same question I have about crypto in general, is like, with a tech that's made it more difficult to cheat, lie, steal, and be bad, transparency is its whole thing. who is it that's running the show against it? Who is it that's saying that's bad? We need to make sure that that never happens, right? Because there are people who do not want to play fair. And I guarantee you that's where the majority of the information coming out about NFTs are going to destroy the gaming industry. I guarantee, I will pay somebody money if I'm wrong, but I would guarantee that that's where that comes from.
He won't pay someone money if he's wrong.
I'll pay you matter.
Disclaimer.
That matters money. No, I will. I'll pay $1. That's money.
Circling back to the.
So I just wanted to use this as an example of like it's a real, actual dividing problem in the gaming thing. So there's that rant.
Good rant. Circling back to touching on that rant and on the thing you just had up there, the stalker thing itself. I don't know much about that exact situation because I haven't followed the development of the game too much. I just want to play it when it comes out, but it doesn't sound like they were trying to sell, at least in my opinion, like they were going to be through the whole life of the game. You can buy an NFT that lets you scan your face, and it sounded like it was a thing for drumming up money to help make the game better. So it's not like they're sitting there trying to be like, if you want downloadable fun stuff that you're already going to pay $2 for a skin or some shit for your gun, which I don't think they'll probably won't do in this game, but there's a good example. But then what? If they're going to give you that later down the road anyways, then what was the issue with people buying a bunch of NFTs at auction to then make the game better?
Well, that's the issue. So the only issue, that's the issue in that particular write-up in that article. But
yeah, like that's the specific thing that was happening.
On one hand, you have, okay, if you're going to buy a stupid skin in the game anyway, why not have the ability to take that out of the game and then sell it to somebody else who maybe has never played it, but they're just getting started so they can play the game? And then they could buy that from you, and you can recoup some of that money that you spent, right? And so the developers, the company doesn't get that money. It's free market, right? So you're arguably giving them more money up front to make the game, with the understanding that there's going to be less money in the long run because now these items aren't exclusively sold by the company, right?
Right.
But then the other side of the argument is, well, if these are items that can be taken out of the game and sold in the open market, then it's a speculative marketplace and the price might go up and up and up and up and up, right? So now you have a situation where some things are really expensive to buy. Oh my gosh. It's like a barrier to entry. You can't even get that item unless you spend a bunch of money on it. But that doesn't mean you can't still play the game and go work, sweat equity, earn the freaking item in the first place, right? So you have an option. You can either be lazy and you can go buy it just like people do on eBay today, where they buy entire accounts, Well, I don't know if they still do that, but I know back in my day, they'd sell the WoW account and stuff like that, right?
World of Warcraft, man.
So basically, like the argument is, I don't want this because my items in the game that I play might become too valuable and I might make too much money.
It sounds more like it's people that are like, I don't want this because. And it's like, but because why? It's like because
somebody told me that it will melt the ozone layer in 3 weeks. You know what I mean? Because somebody told me that it would ruin the game because it would make some game items exclusive to people who could afford them.
Oh, that's not a concept.
That's no. And the other thing is that people see it as some way, like an amplification of pay to win, which it is the opposite of. It's
not.
I won't say that. Yeah, it is the opposite of that. It isn't pay to win, it's play to earn. That's why it's called a different thing. Freaking Den.social is a play to earn game. You don't buy shit. You earn NFTs and tokens, and they are worth money. You never buy a damn thing. Yeah, you can if you want.
Good.
If you don't want to spend your time earning a good reputation, if you don't want to spend your time learning how to maximize your farming and staking of matter and lore and the lot and dragons and all that, like maybe that's complicated. Fine. You want them anyway so that you have more ability to advertise to the community so you can spend matter on boosting posts or so you can upvote stuff higher. Fine. Go buy some, right? It's just that there's different types of people with different priorities. And it pisses me off when a tech that is literally meant to decentralize the money and the governance of all of humanity is turned in on itself to say, oh, we don't want that. We want to be slaves forever and spend all of our money on things we will never get back or even own, because your game is now just a downloadable license to play that game, not even ownership. So I don't know. I could rant about that for days because
I was gonna say I feel like we're gonna heat up if we keep going down this topic.
I know. I could go on that for days.
You know what you could spend your money on to the viewers out there? Here's some financial advice from me.
Merch from the Dragon Chain store?
Yeah, I was gonna say you could spend your money on a coffee with Den coffee mug.
Cool. I've got something even better if you're interested.
Well, this will be an NFT. We'll mint this.
Look at how nice this is.
That's not bad. Honestly, it's not bad.
I like
considering,
the sky.
And I say that honestly, considering that you did this while we're live
in Paint
from the beginning on Paint, right? This was a live performance. This is performing arts.
Live performance art of drawing that you give me all the change in your pockets.
Yeah, at the Den experiment, we had someone painting live during the music. You were drawing and doing this live.
So this is the original. This is the original one, right? We've got this one as well.
Oh,
there's multiples? Holy crap!
Oh boy!
It looks like you time traveled.
Now you've got a limited drop. There's at least 2. There's 3. Now we have 3. We could do all this on Den. We could go to the NFT layer. I'll help you organize this, John. We'll do, and some of it'll have to be on paper because all the marketplace and stuff that is eventually going to be on Den isn't in place yet. But we can do you don't know. We'll do it just like a regular NFT thing too. We'll be like, you don't know which one you're getting. Here's how much they are. Here's how much they are each, right? First come, first serve. And the only thing that I can think of is you're going to have to refund matter to anybody who sends it to you after you're already out of them. Like there are none left. You know, that kind of thing. So you've got 4, is that right?
I've got 4.
Okay. So we can make a 4 of 4. Right? So there's only ever, if you want to, we can make it to where there's only ever going to be 4 of these. Right? These are the 4 that were done live. Don't go and make some different ones afterwards just to have
no, this is
colors.
just our exclusive.
Yeah, these are just
4.
This is the episode 23.
Every show, I'll do a different with like a different whatever meme we come up with during at the top.
You
of the
mint
show.
an NFT. That's not a bad bit, John.
That is a collection concept. I've seen collections with less of a concept and less interesting.
That's not a bad idea. Just John draws something random.
I think it's fun too that you can tell in which order I did things. So if you look at here.
Oh yeah.
Like
just filled in around it.
Look around, the color around it, and then if you look at these other ones, right, you can see all the colors that came in previously that are still there.
That wouldn't have happened with GIMP.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't happen with like a real Photoshop of anything.
Yeah, you can tell it's not photoshopped.
Hey, you did it in Paint. That makes it even better, to be honest with you.
It is not a shop. Not shoot.
Not even close. I like the red cactus. So did you go through and pick all the colors yourself?
Yeah, I went through. I was just like, this is a color I haven't used, and then just tried.
I'm praising him like it was like like he's 7. It's like, did you pick all the colors yourself, buddy?
You stayed in the lines too.
You stayed in the line.
Yeah, man, that's pretty
cool. So what do you think? What do you think the fee is? If you're charging in, what do you want to have? Matter? You want lore or matter? Because lore will help you vote on layers more. Matter will help you generate lore though, because all the more matter you have, it's auto staked and auto yielding lore for
all of the above. Like if someone wants to give you lot in a layer for 1, take that too.
Okay, so how much matter? How much is matter right now? Let me see. Let's go through this right now. Here's the process of figuring out.
So I'm very curious about this NFT and if it's gonna.
Let's see. Let's look up matter MTR on Etherscan.
I'm gonna.
We're back down to 47 cents. Somebody must have cashed out. Yep. Oh yeah, we got it here. We got what's happening? Oh yeah. There's been some activity. Last few days, there's been some activity. Cool. let's look. So 43. So let's call it 50 cents. So how much per of the 4? How much matter per person per mint? Call it a mint, and then you'll send it to that person.
How many matter per? Give me all the change in your pockets. How much change does he want?
I don't know what shit goes for. I don't know any of that.
This is all new.
No, it's
new. There is not a baseline. Like, what do you want them to be?
So here's what I would recommend is using Matter, because look, it's every few days people are trading it, so it is something that the public is using.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I would say, since that's our token, let's stick with Matter or Lore. NFT, like lot, maybe. You take whatever you want. But I was just looking over here. It looks cool. People like are buying and selling. Like somebody bought $700 worth of Matter, and then somebody sold $500 worth of Matter, and then back and forth. It's kind of interesting. So here's what happened. We were up at like 53 cents
euros,
and then this is where it was. Whoever this is. So
potentially cranks.
Here's a lesson about public ledger. You can see who just dumped $5,000 over 5K worth of Matter, which brought the price down. And this would be somebody that is associated with this address. So you can actually, everything's inspectable. It's blockchain, brah.
This feels so like something we shouldn't be showing, but it absolutely.
No, this is the public ledger. Yeah,
I just feels so odd.
Yep, and it's cool because you can, unlike a bank, you can go and verify everything yourself to make sure there's no cheating. Here's the block it was in.
Nice.
Like you can see how many. Where is it? How many? Where's the verifications? The validations.
Success.
Confirmations. Anyway, there's a bunch. So yeah, cool stuff. And then John, let's sell this for 5 Matter each. That's $250.
$2.50.
John's like, wait, no, it's an NFT, isn't it supposed to be worth $100,000?
Well, you asked me.
Isn't this like $10,000 or something? Like, what are we? Or isn't that what we're talking about? Isn't this a house?
It could be. It could be. I don't know.
This is the first one. I'm gonna be famous one day. You're gonna see my house on TV, and they're gonna be like, "Look, I got this stupid ass drawing.
That's Mr. Give me all your change in the pockets, guy."
Yeah. You're betting on my future. That's what this is.
Well, Ether rocks sell for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and
I think
there's way more of those than there are of these.
I think
these are more scarce.
Willing to make it an NFT genuinely, and I think people would be willing to pay like $5 to have, or like 5 or 10 Matter, like you were saying, just for the fun of it. And we should definitely make more of them. And by we, I mean you, because my artistic skill is worse than that.
You're also going to need to charge enough to pay for gas, because to move these between people on Ethereum, you got to pay a gas fee. And it looks like, let's see here, it's going to be about $30.
So these are $50 a piece.
I was about to say I could also just get paid out in Ether, but that's probably not.
It's easy. Yeah, it'll be easier on Den to do Matter. But
so
you could also, Matter. But if you just put it up on OpenSea, which it'll also be on OpenSea, maybe it sells there first. Maybe it sells there only. I don't know.
We're over here speculating about this random ping file.
You could.
Let's see here.
You could do that. I was gonna say like.
Oh, your next one can be.
Could you auction it? I don't think so.
Yeah.
The next one you could do. I want you to do like a new drawing of Heather. I wonder whatever happened to our Heather drawing.
I still have it.
You have Heather still? I'll be damned.
I still have Heather. That's the original right there. That's the OG.
If we ever end up, a household name for some ungodly reason, we can sell Heather off in the future.
To answer your question, you can auction things though. If you're familiar at all with OpenSea, this is how you do it. You connect your wallet. Is my wallet not popping up? All right. Well, that's scary. I got to go fix my MetaMask. Never mind.
You're probably using a different browser than you.
Yeah, probably so. Anyway, you go in there and you set an auction. You say just like on eBay, you have a price, an asking price, and people can outbid, and all that's on OpenSea. So anybody who has Ether or wrapped Ether on Polygon, or apparently very soon Solana on there can, it's an auction. But you got to get it in front of people. That's the hard part, right? So that's why we want to have a marketplace, an NFT marketplace accessible in Den itself, because the audience is here on Den, so you want to market to that. We'll figure it out. That's enough about NFTs.
It's enough about trying to
for
make
the year, probably. I don't know.
Yeah, oh my God. I'm going to be at work later thinking about just NFTs.
All right. One more quick break. And then, actually, no, it's 11 o'clock already.
Yeah, we should go.
No quick breaks. And I'm just going to go
through our
and read some of the comments. Yep.
And then, yeah.
Yep. Exactly
And
what
then
I was
that should do
thinking.
us.
Where is
Keep an eye out for
I'm
this.
the...
Keep an eye out for this NFT hitting Den.
Yeah. What do you think? Art layer, NFT layer?
Yes.
I was gonna
Both.
put it in the Den layer.
NFT art layer?
Oh, okay. It could be the Den layer because it was made during the show, if you want.
And
So it depends
That'd
on,
make
you know.
sense, actually.
I think
You
it's
have to-
good, like
Given the context, it would work in that layer.
I think like the thing too is like with Den is like it's really just about getting the most amount of eyes on it, right? Like, so I think in Den you're gonna see more eyes than the NFT layer, or
Yeah, that's part of it, but the other part of it is there's a check there that you'll run into, which is the reputation system. Because if you start spamming stuff to a layer just because there's more people in it and it's not something that is relevant to that community, if people decide this is not really what we want to see in this layer, they're going to downvote it. Even if it's good, even if it is related, people are going to downvote it because they're like, this is not what we want to see here. So then you actually don't do as well and your reputation gets worse. And maybe you get to the point where, some layers have reputation enabled to where if you lose a certain reputation to a certain threshold, you lose the ability to post or to vote or to reply or to put a picture or a video, that kind of thing. So there's that too. So let's jump in to Unicorn. Denizen Unicorn. All right, and let's see what kind of input we have. Unicorn says, do you have in the future, any plans that the condition for registration on the Den should be the possession of a certain amount of matter? I think that would be great for the ecosystem and the price of matter. So that is interesting. And that is something that, like, I'm a miner, right? So I have nodes in different communities that I do have to have collateral to go in and participate in, which does tend to work for that purpose. But with Den, I think that sort of goes against what we need, in my opinion, which is...
It kind of defeats the purpose.
We spend a lot of time talking about barriers to entry and learning curves. So I don't think we're in a position right now for someone who needs normal everyday users who don't care about cryptocurrency to require them to then learn how to use Ethereum. The process would be this. Somebody has to be taught how to use Ethereum, and then somebody has to be taught how to use Uniswap separately, and then somebody has to be taught how to buy Ethereum or Ether with their cash from their bank, which is not a straightforward process, and then send that over to Uniswap to buy some MTR, and then go to Den and claim your wallet and sign a transaction that says, yep, this is my wallet, and now you're able to sign in. To me, that is such a difficult barrier to entry that I don't think that it makes sense. Now, that's right now. In the future, who knows? This is a DAO. Everybody on the platform is directing how the things get built out, right? So if in the future it becomes useful to do that, and it isn't, maybe then it's like too easy for people to come on, and we do want to keep people out for some reason, unless they show that they're interested enough to go through that learning curve in the first place, then maybe that could be a useful barrier to entry to where you're sort of filtering just people that are interested, But I think it would have to be much, much easier to do it before that happens. Like, for that to happen, you would likely need to buy matter as a like a subscription or something, right? Like a Den Pro or Plus, or like you were talking about with the game company, right? You would need to set up something to where a new user could pay from the Apple App Store with their Google Cash or whatever, Google Pay, without having to go through all those hoops, and then they can just buy the matter directly, have it, now they qualify. So there's my thoughts on that. What do y'all think about having a requirement to hold some matter before you're allowed to sign up?
My personal thought, short, sweet, and to the point, no. It defeats the entire purpose of a social media site, which is what Den primarily is. It's the best way I could put it. Could you imagine somebody trying to sign up for Facebook, which is, I mean, this isn't Facebook, but it's supposed to be as easy to get into and play around with. Imagine trying to explain to your grandmother or somebody else elderly that you know that they have to jump through all those hoops to use a platform. It would just completely, nobody would want to use it at that point. It would be such a difficult hassle to get into. And as an IT guy that fixes people's computer stuff all day long, I could not imagine explaining half of that stuff to somebody that just doesn't fully understand even what the points are overall and what they are in the background.
Yeah, I agree. It's
try imagining. I'm sorry to cut you off again, John, but imagine trying to explain what matter is to somebody who's never even seen Den.
That's true.
So, yeah. Not attacking you on that, just Yes, John.
Yeah, just barrier to entry. You want it to be as easy to get people in to use the platform as possible. Yeah.
Moving on to Jacob Wayne then. I read this and responded to it last night already, but I have 3 important posts I'm working on, assuming on Den. I wanted your opinion on what layers I should post each one in. This might be for John. I feel like it could sound obvious, but we have the wildcards layer, wildcard layers as well, such as random and board. What do y'all think? What he means there is you can basically anything goes in random and board. So the post, 1 year on Den, mid-April. What I've learned and what's important to know. I'm going to say Den and advice. John, what do you think?
If you've got the rep, post it in Den 100%. Also, if you want to be sneaky, what you could do is just reintroduce yourself and be like, hey, this is for new people. This is what I've learned. Because that introduce yourself later, people give away fucking energy like it's candy.
Yep. Yep.
So if
that's
you
true.
post it in there, hey, I know this is where the new people come to find stuff and to find information, wanted to put it where they'd see it first. This is what I've learned.
Yeah. I don't know if people do go there to find information. They might just go there to introduce themselves because someone told them to. But that's a good point. If you can make it, if this goes into advertising too, where the perfect advertisement is not an advertisement at all. It's quality content as relates to that community.
Yeah. No, that's my point is where are they giving away the most amount, and then who could actually use this information? They'd probably use it there, and they'd probably appreciate it.
Yeah, because actually that's a good point. And you could also, I would say, bookmark your post so that when somebody does come in, almost always people are asking for, hey, any tips, any advice, any pointers to get me started from anybody. This is something that you could offer yourself, saying, hey, I wrote up my first year, and here's my experiences, and here's a link to it. And then that'll, number one, help out people who are asking for that very information. And then 2, it'll get people, even not the person who's introducing themselves, which has no energy right now, you would assume, unless they bought some on the way in. But also anybody else who's swinging by to reply to that person, who typically are people that have been around for a while and do have reserves of energy, will see your comment and say, oh, what is that? And then they'll go look at it, so you're bringing visibility to your original post, and maybe if they haven't voted on, they will then. All right, move on to the next one. Q1 of 2022 on Den. I've made a post every day this year. What I've learned, wow, every day. And what I've learned and what I'll be doing for Q2. Awesome.
Yeah, he posts constantly, which is great. We see Jacob Wayne stuff all the time.
Yeah, totally. I didn't realize that's consistent. That's cool. That's good data. This one right here is going to be really good for denizens who want to take on the creator role, and maybe owners too. I'll have to think about that one. Den, obviously, I think is an obvious choice. What other layers can we think about that, like maybe the marketing? There's a marketing and strategy layer for Den itself.
I forgot we had a marketing strategies layer.
Yeah, that might actually be a good place to post this question too and see what people think. And the last one is third one is my crypto journey. What projects I'm involved in and where I recommend spending time and energy. I would put that in the cryptocurrencies layer. I would put that in the what projects I'm involved in and where I recommend spending time and energy. If you're not somebody who's into day trading, I would recommend putting that in the trading lounge and ask and tell people, hey, because this is what I would do. I would say, hey, I'm not a trader. I don't know about charts as much. Here's projects that, fundamentally look like promising projects. Can anybody give me their opinion on, read the charts and give me an opinion on that? And you could drive some interaction and then maybe even tip them out, if nothing else, then with some lore that you get for free just by being on Den. You can tip with that as a thank you. What do y'all think about that? Other layers?
That's what
it's less Den specific, so. All right, so these will be some fun ones to write, and I'm trying to get better at hosting my images elsewhere to include throughout the article. That's something I'm talking to somebody else too, who is a photographer also, who wants uncompressed image hosting and stuff like that. Last question, and then this is something I brought up in the past about where to host things. I do need to make a new post about that because what I put out last time is no longer true. You cannot have anything nice in this world without it being destroyed. So what they had to do is, you can go read about it, but Sea of Skynet had this amazing file hosting service where you could just show up and host stuff and then send a link to it to somebody and they can go find it, right? Easy peasy. And as you can imagine, it got abused by criminals for illicit content, and they got a bunch of takedown requests and legal problems, and it was a fiasco. And so then there's 3 sites. There's that same free one. Then there's another free one that you got to sign up for. This is the one I would recommend. And then there's one you got to sign up for and pay for, which I would highly recommend if you are a pro who needs hosting. And then you can use any of that to direct link here, uncompressed, all the magic, that kind of stuff. So there's that.
The sale was gone.
It isn't. No, it's nowhere close to gone. It is the one still. Sea of Skynet exists, but then there's Sea of Skynet, a different website that is the same company but a different domain. So that when the first one gets taken down for abuse, it does not It does not affect the users of the second and third one. The second one being not KYC per se, but just any email address to sign up. That tends to get rid of a lot of the abuse. And then the third one being literally KYC, but also like $20 a month, and you get a butt ton of benefits for it. I might actually sign up for that myself for us to use at Decent Gains because it's such a good deal and it's decentralized and
ticks all the boxes.
Yep. So cool. I would definitely go look into just reread the Sea of Skynet stuff and what they're doing now. Josh O, thanks for being consistent and posting a lot of times, Josh, and Modesi too under you. As Den grows, it'll be harder for new denizens to earn matter, really everyone. Thus, more difficult for them to upvote and post. Will you raise the baseline for energy, or will they have to buy matter? Any plans or thoughts? Excellent question. So that actually is in the original, in the white paper. If you go to your settings, and here, let's just go look. You go to settings and white paper. It's kind of a heavy read. It's meant to be like more technical and specific to what we're doing. But in here, you'll find, if you go down to the token economy section, you'll find that there's already a method envisioned for changing the multiplier on how much energy you get per matter. So right now it's 1 for 1. And it is true that as this scales up, it's one of the reasons that the matter token has 18 digits, right? Or decimal places after it, because it's going to get more scarce, and it's going to get more difficult to get a whole coin. Because with more users, as you scale up, you still only have 1,000 matter per day to give out. You know what I mean? So what we're going to end up doing in the future is, I imagine there will be a point where instead of 1 for 1, you might get 1.5 for 1, or 2 or 5 for 1, maybe 5 energy per 1 matter per day. You know what I mean? So that's easy enough. That's a business decision that we can all vote on. If it becomes like, okay, hey, we want to give new users more energy so they can interact more, can we please make it to where you don't have to have 500 matter to have 500 energy, that kind of thing. So yeah, cool. Good question, easy answer. Scroll down. What did I just do?
That's the other post. That's the Gainesville post.
Well, where is it? I got so many tabs.
It's up there in your pile of tabs somewhere.
Oh, it's here, isn't it? No, is it here?
No, maybe the one before that?
No, it's here.
There you go.
I just had to go back.
Located.
So yeah, excellent question. And let me make sure before I forget, I do want to tip everybody out who does leave questions. So if you haven't, I'll at least give you 1 or 2 matter, unless it's something that, you know, is like earth-shattering, and then I'll maybe give you something more earth-shattering. I don't know. Thanks. And I like to give a little note every time. I don't have to. Thanks. Great question. I'm just saying what I'm typing here. And I hope the answer is what you were looking for. Vote in site-wide Den.social issues to direct things like this. It's pretty neat, I think. So just, you know, you can write any old thing in these messages. I like to just say what I'm doing for anybody who's not used it before, you know. And then, let's see, is that it? What do we got?
I think
there's Josh O. Oh, Modezi. Can't wait for today's show to start. Awesome.
Hi there. We're here now. It started. You don't have to wait anymore.
Oh,
This was about 2 hours ago.
Treek says, is it a possibility to implement a notification function whenever you receive a message in the chat? Also, when getting replied on the layer. Also, a chat function I would like to see is able to reply to someone on message. Thanks. Excellent question. A lot of
covered all that.
Well, not really, because I think so. The notifications are there. In fact, in chat, they're a little bit too much there. It might be fixed by now, but at first it was like whenever you wrote a message, it would actually prop up a notification saying, hey, there's a new message in chat.
There's a new message.
Yeah. So I would go look at it and be like, oh, that's what of course there's a new message. I put it there, you know?
I think that has been fixed, actually, because I did that earlier, and I only got a notification when somebody else replied. So
cool. Fantastic. So, yeah, the notifications are currently only this little blue dot. So I have a notification right now, for example, that there's a chat in 2 rooms. I've got 4 messages that are unread in Gainesville, and I've got 2 messages that are unread in Den. So if I go in there, I can click the new. It picks up where I left off, but then I can hit new. It'll sometimes tell me to check for newer, but then, oh, and there aren't any. Okay, it lied.
It's been kind of glitchy with that, where like,
yeah,
there's nothing new, and then there's nothing that's new.
There we go. Yeah, same thing here. These 4. I don't think that's fixed yet, because it said 4, and there's 3 that are not me, and there's one that is. So it must be still counting that. So yes, there is an overload of notifications. But what I think that I'm sorry, what was your name again? Let me go back. What I think that Treeks is talking about is the mobile app, the iPhone and the Android app, where there are not any push notifications. It would be nice for there to be a push notification to pop up in like the menu bar to say you got a message, you got a notification. Yes, that kind of thing. Especially, and maybe even first, before we do that, governance. Because even I have, and I'm here all the time, and even I forget to check governance sometimes to see if there's any, new issues for me to vote on, which right now there aren't. But yeah, I would say notification for governance is great. Oh wait, no, here's some. Oh, a lot. I need to vote on these. All right, so I'll go vote on these after the show. But yep, notifications are definitely coming, so don't worry about that. Thank you again, and I'll tip you out. Oops, that's not the right thing. And I'll tip you out to Matter as well. And I'll just say, thanks. Great question. Tip. Confirm. And just so everyone knows, there's a 7-day hold on those tips. That's just a safety net while we get everything built out. That can always be changed later. Everything can be changed. You are the owner. If you're a denizen, you direct the ship, just like everybody else. So that's the show. That's the show, boys.
I have a very important question before I have to tap out of here to go to work.
Sure.
What kind of keyboard do you have?
I got a Corsair. I can't figure out how to get the gaming LEDs to stop going like multicolors. Right? Yeah. I'm sure there's a button somewhere, but I have this rainbow. Yeah, and I hate it. I've got computers that do that because they come with LEDs now. The RAM, the memory.
Oh, I turn it all off as much as I can.
Yeah, and I got to go find all the things like turn off. Like, can I spend less money and you just not put all the LEDs in?
Your keyboard's doing the rainbow because we're damn dirty Linux users, and unfortunately, Corsair doesn't have an app to play with it.
I am on OpenSUSE Linux.
As you were typing over there, I'm over here with Kubuntu. You were typing over there, and I was just like, "Ooh, those sound."
Oh, I found it. Check this out. I didn't even look. Check this out. It's literally look. There's a button. There's a freaking button. You see the button?
Just the on off. The
yeah. That's it.
Flashy. When you got
look at that.
Oh, that's a HyperX. I've sold those. We actually have a fairly good a couple of those at the store.
Well, now that he showed his, how many LEDs do you have on yours, David?
Oh, well, I don't. I have a laptop at the moment, but if we want to get technical, at 0 because I use IBM Model M's as keyboards, and they didn't have LEDs in 1980 something.
Oh, you do. You've got that up at the shop. I've seen that.
Two of them. We have one. We like it so much that we have one on the front counter for typing up our invoices and everything. And then
that's fantastic. Yeah, I've heard good things.
I have taken that keyboard apart more times than I can count to go through and clean it and completely dismantle it and put it all back together, and she does everything she needs to do every time. Love her.
Mechanical, I'd imagine mechanical keyboards will be a layer one day. There's at least there's you, there's Joe is a mechanical keyboards guy. He built his keyboard that it was either given away as a prize or something, but he built the keyboard that he wrote Dragon Chain on whenever he was engineering Dragon Chain.
Is it like one of those like when you can configure all the switches and everything in?
Yeah. So it was the one he was using at Disney while he wrote the Disney private blockchain, which became Dragon Chain. And then it's a cool looking little keyboard, man. I've always seen. That's kind of why I bought it's kind of why I bought the Corsair thing, because it was a good deal, mechanical-ish keyboard. And honestly, I get it. I usually go for the $2 Dell at the Goodwill. You know, those are pretty good too.
Something really quick. Let me pull my screen up for just a minute.
Well, hurry up! It's 20 after.
I know. I'm ready to go. I have to show something off really quick just because it's worth.
And we still gotta make my NFT, man.
I know. Well, we're not doing that live. Sorry.
It's not going live. Window. Okay, here we go. Boom. Okay. So here's something stupid and completely irrelevant. Speaking of keyboards, we were talking about switches.
Oh, is this the switches? Okay.
So this is the switch inside of an IBM Model M, and it doesn't say what the name of it is here, but the actual patent name for this switch is catastrophically buckling spring switch.
That sounds awesome.
You push down on it, and that little spring there in the middle pinches and makes a little metal flap tap down, and that's how it does a key switch, and it results in this just super fantastic clunk every time you hit them.
So it sounds like it bends to a threshold and collapses.
Yep, it does. It bends and it catastrophically fails essentially, and causes
that's awesome
to happen. And mine have been doing it since 1986. So
that's why they had to make them. That's why they had to make them shittier.
You could kill somebody with it. Like I could whack somebody in the head with this keyboard, and they would.
It's also still your primary keyboard.
Oh,
like imagine if things were made that well still. Companies would go out of business.
Over here I'm just kidding. I'm not digging it out right now, but over here in the corner I have its predecessor, which was like for the IBM PC in 1981, which is even clunkier and louder and just snap, click every time you click it, and it works absolutely fine. I mean, if I could convert it easily, I could use it today.
Yeah, I put those old, like I said, the old Dell. Sometimes they had the slot for the CAT card because they were using all the military offices and stuff. I use those. They're $2 to $5 max at Goodwill.
Oh yeah, those were
And
fairly good keyboards.
They work pretty good. And I've run them through the dishwasher before, and they're fine.
Dell makes surprisingly like their throwaway peripherals that come with your new computer when you buy a machine. I don't think they have this model anymore. It's now a flat chiclety one, but they used to have a keyboard that was just this big chunky rubber dome one, and they're great. Like they type really well, and they're like $1 when you buy them online. They had a volume knob and everything. It was wild.
Yeah.
All right, that's enough babbling for the day.
Listen,
Yeah.
Do you have a car you gotta get to?
Yeah, I've got to go to work at some point. Like, we're done now, okay?
All right. So Gravity Crab is into mechanical keyboards, right?
That's what we learned today.
We've learned about that. T Swift or Die is an artiste. He's our newest NFT artist on Den.
He is the greatest NFT artist, and he's gonna have a hell of a
So
series.
you can expect to see him in the NFT layer with all of his NFT artwork. And I am going to keep on chugging with, man, I don't even know what I'm doing today. Everything's just, I got a lot of stuff. This week's busy.
Drink like 3 more cups of coffee and tell me.
Yeah, I didn't do a lot last week, so I had to catch up all on it this week. So I'll keep doing that. And that is our show. A lot of it long today, but we always do that. That's fine.
That's fine. It's fine.
I hope everybody got some information out of it that was useful. If you've been drinking coffee with us or working with us in the background, thank you. Spread the word. Leave a reply on next week. So we usually put it up on the Tuesday, the day before the show, to start getting people's comments and replies in and stuff like that. So go do that. I'll tip you out. Go watch World Blockchain Roundtable. Check out dragonchain.store for merch on Coffee with Den merch, as well as Den and Dragon Chain merch in there. And then check out all the other shows. World Blockchain Roundtable is going to be awesome this week. We've got Sticky DAO is going to be on the show, and we're going to be talking about what they're doing with Den and with their DAO overall. And that whole show is going to be about NFTs. John, you might love it. It's going to be about NFTs.
If you need a guest,
with his lore now that John loves NFTs.
Yeah.
You need a
as a guest. That'd be great.
Yeah, you should just be on. You should come on as just like a new NFT artist who just learned about it. And be like, yep, just getting started. Hey, Sticky DAO, what do you think about this? Something you might want to invest in purchasing a collection of. But yeah, so that's Thursday. And then, like I said a couple of times, our governance calls are also Thursday afternoons, though, at 3 p.m. Eastern. And that's where, that's kind of like a business meeting / brainstorming sesh. And we've had people from the community pop in and, brainstorm with us, which is always, always desirable.
That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, so let's meet up on all of those shows and things. And just like every time, this song is called Enter the Dragon. It was written and produced by Denizen Y'all Weird. And if you listen to the whole song, it's even better. So see you next week. Thank you again. And
everyone have a wonderful week.
What he said. Bye.
Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best.
Adaptable, all capital, label radical yet rational. A tactical approach is palpable if this animal is fallible. But that conclusion is laughable, so with for all detachable from the mandible, you see it now?